Attack with Zaha and Townsend and AU. Now it's a really attacking team from Crystal Palace. It might look as if their tactics are quite defensive, but they've got the attacking players on there that in transition they can hurt Leeds United, and that's what Roy Hodgson will be looking forward to today.
Okay, Leeds then making two changes to the side that lost 4-1 against Leicester at home last time out. I think most would say it was their worst performance of what's been largely an impressive season back in the top flight under Marcelo Bielsa. The two changes see Ergan Alioski come into the team and Pascal Struijk as well. There is no Jamie Shackleton, the youngster is not in the matchday 18, and more interestingly is Pablo Hernandez, who did hit the woodwork against Leicester when it was 2-1 at that stage. So it is Illan Meslier in goal, a back four of Struijk, Liam Cooper the captain, Robin Koch and Luke Ayling. It's Matthias Klick, Stuart Dallas, Alioski alongside Jack Harrison and Helder Costa as a five-man midfield, all supporting Patrick Bamford, the man who scored 6 league goals this season already up front. The bench is Casilla, Poveda Ocampo, Roberts, Rafinha, who's back after an ankle problem, Davis, and then the youngsters Jenkins and Casey. Gabby, your thoughts on Leeds United today?
I think it's a strong Leeds United side. You look at Costa, Bamford and Harrison with Klick in behind. They've got goals in that team, and you know they're going to be defensively well as well. It's just going to be interesting to see if Bielsa has learnt his lesson really of how to play against these teams. We've seen what Leicester did to them. They played on the counter-attack and stopped them from playing their passing game in the opposition half. So it'll be interesting if Bielsa plays differently. He has got quite some defensive-minded players in the team as well in the centre of midfield, so maybe he might change his tactics today and let Crystal Palace come onto them. It'll be interesting to see what sort of tactics both managers play today.
Yep, completely agree. Plenty more from Gabby Agbon-Lahore in a few minutes' time, and as Gabby says there, Jamie Vardy, Harvey Barnes and Yuri Tielemans all really ripping Leeds apart at various points in that game. It was closer probably than 4-1 suggested, but a few iffy moments at the back from the likes of Meslier, Costa, Cooper, Koch for the opener. It wasn't ideal. Leeds needs to bounce back, and could Crystal Palace, as we say, just sit deep, hit them on that counter and make them pay. Whoever wins would definitely go 6th in the table and possibly 5th depending on goal difference. Now remember, at TalkSport Live, we love to hear from you on social media, so please drop us a tweet wherever you're listening around the world. Tell us what you're up to, tell us where you're listening from, and maybe send us a picture if you can. Your thoughts on this game, on the two veteran managers, Hodgson, Bielsa, the players on show, and where these two teams might finish come the end of the season as well. At TalkSport Live, all that and much more. We love to hear from you. In a few moments' time, we'll hear from the managers and look ahead to some of the rest of today's action. But in just a few minutes' time, 19 to be precise, our commentary is Palace Leeds on Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7. Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
3 Odin's
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2023, a deadly enemy rages like a fire. Ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talks Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will go in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, a Zoom tortoise race against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, Talk Sportus can defeat it.
Talk Sportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized? 20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
And extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big games at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, smart speaker, 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
Now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You're listening to Talk Sports coverage of Crystal Palace against Leeds United from Selhurst Park. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me is the former Aston Villa and England striker Gabby Agbonlahor. This is Premier League Live. Kick-off in our game in pretty much exactly 15 minutes' time. We'll hear from both the manager, Roy Hodgson of the Eagles, and the Leeds captain, Liam Cooper, in a few moments' time. And before all of that, there's been one match today already. Manchester United and their boss, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, under huge pressure as they headed to Everton. Let's hear how it all panned out from our commentator, John Anderson.
Everton 1, Manchester United 3. A massive win will spark relief for under pressure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as United end a dreadful week on a high and consign Everton to a third successive defeat. It didn't look that way on 20 minutes when Bernard fired the home side ahead from the edge of the box. But United's response was swift and decisive. Bruno Fernandes' bullet header quickly levelled, and the Portuguese midfielder then saw a cross elude Marcus Rashford and go straight in off the post for a half-time lead. Abdoulaye Doucouré missed two good late chances to earn Everton a point and was punished as United countered, allowing Edinson Cavani to get his first Premier League goal and give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a huge smile as he battles on, fortified by this crucial win. Everton 1, Manchester United 3.
John, thank you very much indeed. Gabby, I know that you and I watched a fair bit of the latter stages of that one in the press room here. Crikey, that was a much-needed win for United and for Solskjaer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great win for Manchester United, and it showed what all Manchester United fans wanted to see, and maybe the board and the owners, that the team's fighting for the manager. That's what you look at sometimes when you feel like a manager's under pressure, when the team's not playing for them. That Manchester United side today, the players that come on, they were fighting for the manager, and it was a great performance and a great victory against a very good Everton side.
So as things stand, that takes Manchester United up a couple of places to 13th, but a further win could see them really climb up into upper mid-table, and that of course is the aspiration for both Crystal Palace and for Leeds United today as well. All of those teams now with 10 points from 7 games. Already this weekend we have seen Brighton 0, Burnley 0 and Southampton 2, Newcastle 0. They were the Friday night games UK time that kicked off game week 8 in the Premier League. We've just told you about Everton, Manchester United. After us at 5:30 UK, it's Tom Rennie and Dave Kitts in the commentary team for Chelsea versus Sheffield United. And the Blades manager is Chris Wilder, saying last season's result at the Bridge, 2-2 back in August 2019, plus a 3-0 win at Bramall Lane in July 2020, will certainly give his team much needed belief.
Chelsea stepped off the pace second half, we stepped on it, and that's what happens in the Premier League. We gave ourselves an opportunity getting a goal back pretty soon after half time, and we pushed, but we could have, they could have been out of sight as well, but we managed to hang on in the game. And I think, there's some quite naive people out there that think, if they think that we can go toe to toe with any of these big clubs, I think that, the positive thing from my point of view in the last 2 games is we've been in the game right the way through, and we have to.
Chris Wilder, whose team still languish at the foot of the table. 1 point from 7 games. Burnley with 2, West Brom with 3, Fulham with 4. They're the teams off, Gabby, to slow starts. Can you see Sheffield United turning this one around or not?
No, this game I can't see them getting anything out of it. I don't think it'll be a massive win for Chelsea, because Sheffield United are a well organised, well defensive team, but the difference in quality going forward will be the difference in this game, and I'll see a 2-0, maybe 2-1 win for Chelsea. But I do feel like Sheffield United can turn it around, and I do feel that Sheffield United, West Bromwich Albion, they're both going to be down there this season, but it's going to come down to who can get them important wins against each other, maybe, including Burnley as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight, I think, over the course of this season, no question. We'll return to that game a bit later at half-time, plus to West Ham Fulham as well. That's our 8 p.m. kick-off tonight. The fourth of our commentary games, Andrew Self and Rufus Brevitt, the former Fulham fullback, your commentary team for that one. OK, Gabby, so that is some of the games away from ours. Let's focus back then on our featured game here on Premier League. Live off in just over 10 minutes. Crystal Palace against Leeds. Let's hear from the Leeds United captain, their Scotland international centre-half Liam Cooper, on the back of the veteran Palace boss Roy Hodgson, saying that Leeds' Marcelo Bielsa, his opposite number, was an excellent...
The type of football that Leeds are playing.
It's unbelievable, the euphoria around every single game, and we want to test ourselves against the best in the world, and the boys are hurting, but this is... This is the Premier League. He comes thick and fast now, and we've just got to put it right and get reaction from the full team.
There's no way around that. I mean, the fact is, if you're going to get a lot of players forward, which will give you a chance to score goals, there's no question of that. There's always going to be the risk that against teams that have got quick players or who are very adept at using counter-attacking tactics, they're likely to cause you a few problems on the counter-attack. There's no ways around that. That's the way you set your stall out. I will say one thing. I think Leeds, for a team that throw a lot of players forward, managed to get them back pretty quickly. In most instances, more quickly than many teams are able to do. So that is the way that Marcelo Bielsa and the Leeds team have set out to play. That is their style. Everyone knows what it is, but you've got to be good enough to deal with it.
That's Roy Hodgson up against Marcelo Bielsa. There is an awful lot of experience between those two, Gabby, isn't there? Crikey.
Yeah, it's two great managers, a lot of experience in the game, and two different styles of football that both of them play. So I'm really intrigued to see today which one comes out on top. Is it the defensively compact team that plays on a counter-attack, or is it the team that like to push men forward and high press? It'll be interesting to see, and it's a really hard game to call today.
Just back to Palace then. It's been an odd season, hasn't it? They started with back-to-back wins. I remember covering their win against Southampton, which pretty much no one else has been able to do, of course, when they went top of the table, which was a great achievement. Then they won at Man United. Since then, though, it's all been a little bit flat, hasn't it? 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses, but they are still very comfortably in mid-table and still looking upwards for you, or not?
I think the thing with Crystal Palace for me is that they're always going to be that team that can go on a little run, but then they're going to be a team that can be frustrating and lose games. They're a mid-table side at best. For me, this season will be the same as every other season. They'll finish between 10th to 14th, 15th. They won't really have a worry about relegation this season. They'll be fine. They'll have some shocks where they'll go and beat teams like they did to Manchester United away, but then they'll probably lose to teams like Burnley at home or Burnley away when you expect them to go and win. So it's typical Crystal Palace, really. I don't think there'll be anything to worry about this season. He's that manager, isn't he, Roy Hodgson, that you know what you're going to get with him. He's going to keep their team in the league and get some decent results.
And similar thoughts on Leeds United. A couple of excellent results so far this season in terms of wins, and of course they held Man City to a draw as well, didn't they? They've largely done well, and even against the likes of Liverpool right at the start of the campaign pushed them to within a single goal. We've seen a fair amount.
Yeah, 100%, and I said it the other day that, like, if I was to play against Leeds United now, I'd dread it because they're so fit. They fly forward, they fly back together as a team. They're the fittest team I've seen in a long while, and if you in the Premier League, if you're not at it 100%, you will find yourself get a big hiding from them. We've seen it with Aston Villa. If you're not on it from the start of the game, you'll get found out by this Leeds side. So I feel like every manager playing against Leeds United now know what they're about. They will be telling their players that if you're not on it from the first minute, they'll run all over you, and I think Leeds United will be fine. They will shock a lot of teams this season, but then they'll lose games, which is expected with the way they play.
Just finally, a quick word then on how you see this panning out and why.
I see this as a Crystal Palace win for me. I don't think it'll be by a big margin. I'm going to go 2-1 to Crystal Palace. I just feel that the attacking players that Palace have got, it's going to go into their favour this game, because Leeds United look like they can only play one way at the moment, which is throwing a lot of players forward and leaving themselves open at the back.
Gabby Agbonlahor, plenty more from you, my friend, during our commentary. Remember, at TalkSport Live, keep your tweets going in wherever you're listening around the world. Bulbasaurus Rex has tweeted in from North Carolina, USA. He says, on the way to coach my under-12s team. Sadly, I won't get to listen to the whole of your commentary, guys, but please keep up the good work. My friends, we will do that very thing for you, if at all possible, at TalkSport Live. Drop us a line, we'll read the best out over the course of the game. So just over 5 minutes to go till kickoff. Should be really tight and really interesting. Crystal Palace against Leeds United. It's our focus on Premier League Live.
This November, watch the big games every weekend with Sky Sports and Sports Extra half price. This week it's Man City Liverpool, live only on Sky Sports.
Splendid, succinct Liverpool.
In one of the biggest games in the Premier League calendar.
Manchester City are being merciless.
Get Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports half price for 6 months. Search Sky Sports Sale. New sports customers only. Standard pricing applies after 6 months or if cancelling one element of the bundle. Minimum term and further terms apply.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Ranger Wildtrak from €440 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost a standard rate. Price quoted is for a Ranger Wildtrak with no maintenance over 4 years with a €1,750 deposit. 15,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Marion Fleet Management. Trading as Ford Lease.
Upgrade your home viewing experience at Curry's PC World. See every tackle, shot and goal in crystal clear definition with our huge range of the latest to market large screen TVs with massive savings. Like save up to €130 on Samsung 4K TVs from only $459 and get your TV for half price. 1 in 20 win half their money back. Buy any LG OLED TV to enter with prices from just $1,249. Shop the full range online at currys.ie.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home, to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Erscá Céile. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
123ink.ie for all your home office needs, including printers, ink, toners, paper, label markers, binders,
pens, bins, batteries, boxes, chalk, compass, files, memory sticks, highlighters, glue, notepads,
Whoa! And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123ink.ie for home, for office, for less.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets, and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
12, Mamadou Sakho, 15.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Crystal Palace against Leeds United from Selhurst Park. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me is the former Aston Villa and England striker, Gabby Agbonlahor, and this is Premier League Live. Just a couple of moments' time, we prepare for a minute's silence. This, of course, the closest home game to Remembrance Sunday, this coming Sunday. So all the players prepare to line up in and around the centre circle, both arms embracing each other. So 2 sets of 11 facing each other either side of halfway as we honour the fallen and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service of their country. Always so emotive as we honour the fallen, and there is a huge poppy wreath just by the ball on the centre circle, which will be removed in just a couple of seconds' time by our match referee. By the way, that is Christopher Kavanagh, as we prepare for kick-off with that sombre note firmly in mind ahead of Remembrance Sunday. So, Crystal Palace, first of all, here on Premier League Live, lining up with 3 changes to the side that lost to Wolves last time out. It is Vicente Gaeta in goal, a back 4 of Patrick Van Aanholt, Scott Dan the captain, Cheku Kouyaté and Nathaniel Klein. In midfield, into the team comes Ebere Eze alongside Jairo Riedewald. James MacArthur's also a change, with Andros Townsend out wide on the right, and Wilfred Zaha is supported now by Jordan Ayew, who's back from coronavirus. Club captain Luka Milivojevic is suspended after being sent off in that defeat to Wolves, and Jeffrey Schlupp and Michy Batshuayi drop down to the bench. Jack Butland also back from COVID, Mamadou Sakho, Christian Benteke, James McCarthy back from an injury on Irish international duty, and Gary Cahill back after a shin injury against Brighton. That is the home team's bench. And just as we got underway a second ago, the traditional homage to Black Lives Matter as well, as both sets of players take a knee. I'll run you through the Leeds United lineup in a second. Crystal Palace, by the way, in their traditional red and blue. They've got vertically striped tops with blue shorts and blue socks with a tiny bit of red trim. They are kicking from left to right. And Leeds in their traditional all-white tops, shorts and shirts. They're kicking from right to left. And it's Crystal Palace with an early attack as Nathaniel Klein bursts down the near side. It's out for a throw as I bring in Gabby Agbonlahor. Gabs, good start from Palace in the first 45 seconds.
Yeah, this is what you want in the game, especially against Leeds United side. You want to start the game in their half and try and win an early corner or free kick, and that's what Crystal Palace are doing. It'll be interesting to see as well what formation that Leeds United will play. I think we'll find out soon enough, but it'll be interesting to see what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. We thought probably 4-5-1, but there's a couple of question marks there because Stuart Dallas, the Northern Irishman, can effectively play anywhere as Andros Townsend gets an early shot in from distance. Ilan Meslier makes a relatively comfortable save. Dallas played fullback last week, but I think he's due to play in midfield this, with Struik coming in. And then Alioski, who's in, I thought he was going to play fairly advanced, but he's already turned up in a defensive capacity.
Yeah, I think we're seeing now, aren't we, from the camera view we've got here, that he's looking at maybe Dallas isn't playing in midfield, or maybe he's playing wing back. It's hard to see, isn't it?
As we speak, Alioski's hurtling forward as kind of a left wing back, and infield a man that we thought might start out wide, which is Jack Harrison, the Manchester City loanee, wearing 22. Ball ricochets out for a Leeds throw, which again Stuart Dallas takes, possibly as the right wing back in this lineup, maybe with Alioski as the left. It will all become clear with, I would think, then a combination of Cooper, Koch and Ayling at the back, and then maybe Struik sitting in front of them.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I won't quote you on that though, but it looks like it might be a wing backs and 3 centre halves. I think they played that before this season, so it looks like we're going to pass that as well. And it looks like he will play right side centre half, and then Koch and then Cooper.
What I love is that Marcelo Bielsa so far is only bothered about his coffee. He's got his face down in his cappuccino. He's barely even watched the action beneath us so far, but that is him all over, isn't it? In one sense he looks so chilled and laid back that he's almost horizontal, but we know there's a proper firebrand side inside that dressing room, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. You know, he just looks like that manager who he knows the players are going to do exactly what he says. I mean, we said about Hernandez, he come off last week and he was sulking when he come off. For all we know, he might be dropped this week because of that.
I did wonder, because he's got no injury
exactly,
as far as we know.
So it just shows that, like, you can tell with Bielsa, he's the main man. He won't stand for any of that.
No petulance whatsoever. Yeah, we saw it in the rugby as well, didn't we, with the Ireland fly half Johnny Sexton as they lost out to France in the Six Nations, and that was a tricky one for Andy Farrell as his chief playmaker surged off sulkily. We saw the same from Hernandez, and maybe he has paid the price. Anyway, it's Palace on the attack again. It's been an excellent start. Zaha finds Townsend, who's in space, and well done to Alioski, who came charging back and made a very important tackle. Number 10 on number 10, and Townsend, after a fine run from Zaha, couldn't quite get his shot away. But another promising early sign for Palace, who still have the ball just to the right hand side of halfway beneath us. Cheku Kayate, their former West Ham centre half, can play in midfield or defence.
That was a really good chance there. I mean, we just went past that there, but Townsend's got to do better there. I mean, it's great play from Zaha. He's got Ayling in his back pocket already, and then I mean, Townsend just got to do better. I mean, if he takes a first time shot even, it was set up for that, and it's a great chance for Palace there.
Well, it certainly was, but it wasn't taken. Alioski did extremely well on his return to the team, the North Macedonia international, signed from Lugano a couple of seasons ago. Been sort of in and out of the first team. He's always there or thereabouts. He's got 1 goal so far this season. Interesting to see what he can bring to the table, and like so many Marcelo Bielsa players, can play in different positions and just covers literally every blade of grass. We've seen that from Jack Harrison as well, again under a little bit of pressure from Townsend, does well, intercepts and plays the ball out to his keeper, the young Frenchman Ilan Meslier, 20-year-old formerly of Lorient, came via a loan spell. He's got the first choice opportunity for this season, and largely has done so well, I would say, for a player who is so young.
Yep, definitely, he's done well, and he's got to continue it now for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up. Of course, the likes of Kiko Casilla, who's on the bench. Kiko Casilla, the experienced Spaniard, will have an opportunity back were it to arise. But it's Meslier's jersey as Palace are again on the attack through Townsend, who cuts onto his left foot, tries an in-swinging cross, Gabby, but always unfortunately going to be high, wide and handsome, that one.
Yeah, it's he's normally better than that, Townsend, but I can see the formation now from Leeds. It's definitely a 5-2-3. It looks like 2 centre midfielders with 3 of the attackers in front, so it's a formation that he's played before, and it's maybe a formation set to have the majority of the possession as well.
So effectively Struik has come into the team for Shackleton, and then we've seen Alioski come in for Hernandez, and hug that wide role, but switching to 3 at the back to give those 2 wing-backs the potential to push forward. Luke Ayling is the right side of the back 3, wearing 2. The former Bristol City man smacks it downfield right-footed. But Crystal Palace again deal with it neatly. They certainly had the best of the exchanges so far as the ball is slid through as far as Eze. Eze to Patrick Van Eyck. Target from the Dutchman. Saved low to his right by Messier. Palace's fine start continues, probably their best, at least shot of the game so far.
Yeah, they look very dangerous, don't they? They've got men flying forward here in Crystal Palace, and Leeds haven't really started at the moment. They're not really tracking the runners like you'd expect Leeds United players to do, and the formation that Palace are playing at the moment is the one that's working more.
Palace, as Gabby says, very happy 6.5 minutes in, where it remains Crystal Palace 0, Leeds 0 on Premier League Live. Wherever you're listening around the world, we value you being with us. It's an absolute privilege and pleasure, I say it every week, to bring you the Premier League to our brilliant global audience. It's loved in so many parts of the world. Welcome to South London, where a bit of earlier fog today has cleared. It's a cold but dry day. Slightly zippy playing surface. It's Leeds finally on the attack for pretty much the first time in the game for a meaningful note, as the Portuguese Helder Costa, formerly of Wolves, weaves his way forward, finds Dallas on the overlap, and all Palace can do is concede a corner.
Yeah, but that's what they will do well. You see there the way they press there from Dallas. They will do that Leeds United, and they can be dangerous off set pieces, so Palace will have to be awake here.
First corner of the game. Despite Palace dominating the early exchanges, it does go Leeds' way. Vicente Gaeta, the Palace keeper, barking out some instructions. Plenty of white jerseys up for the visitors. Away swinging corner, and I'm pretty sure that it was Robin Koch, the German, who got up there first. It was, but Palace's defence doing enough to put him off, and all he could do, Gabby, was guide that header over the bar.
Yeah, it's good defending, and it's a good header. Leeds United are going to be dangerous with their centre halves coming off for corners, but that's what you want from your team. Roy Hodgson will want his defenders who are picking up to make a challenge. That's what they did there, so good defending from Crystal Palace.
8 gone, Palace 0, Leeds 0, as Gaeta trots across to take the goal kick. Warren B has tweeted in from Blacksburg, Virginia, says, I'm driving to Tennessee. Go Leeds. We'll see if the Whites can get the job done as you drive Warren from state to state. And John D. Danup saying, Man United did well today, but I'm still not convinced. They still lack consistency. And John, I think that is a fair assessment, but still a massive win for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men. They won 3-1 at Everton. Here, Andros Townsend is down. You probably heard the yelp as he grabbed his right ankle. He's been helped back to his feet by one of his teammates, and I'm not sure if we're going to stop play or not. I think we are. Townsend appears to be hurt slightly.
Yeah, I think if you look at the tackle, it's football. You're going to get little sometimes knocks like this. It's not a bad tackle from Cooper, and he's got up straight afterwards, Townsend, but Lee's done the right thing by kicking the ball out of play.
Just to be on the safe side, William Cooper, who we heard from pre-match, the Leeds United captain. 4 caps for Scotland, 6 years service at Leeds. Played the best part of 200 league games and 200 plus in all competitions. He's been a very, very good servant, the skipper, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's what you want to see, don't you? You want to see like the club being loyal to the player and the player being loyal to the club, and he's Mr. Leeds, isn't he, Mr. Cooper?
Absolutely, he really is. And after this long, long wait, as we well know, Leeds United are back in the Premier League. And largely they've done well so far. Both teams, funnily enough, with exactly the same record, 7 games in, which is 3 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, 10 points. Which is not a bad return. If either could get the win today, they would go up to 6th, maybe 5th. It would be a fantastic position heading into the second international break of the campaign, which of course takes place next weekend. Leeds pressing Palace as best they can. Kouyate under pressure from Patrick Bamford, but Cheikhou Kouyate, the Senegalese, does well to play it back to his Spanish keeper Gaeta. Helder Costa miscontrolling, chance briefly to win it back for Leeds on halfway. Palace did have it through Wilfred Zaha. He's then dispossessed by Costa. Zaha feels he was fouled. Dallas puts in the early cross. Kouyate off balance, falling, did well to clear it as far as Patrick van Aanholt, and the Dutch bangs it downfield. This time Koch brings down Ayew, and Leeds United concede the free kick. Scrappy passage of play, but Leeds just coming back into it a bit more, aren't they?
Yeah, this is what Leeds will do. You know, they'll start off sometimes on top. Sometimes they won't start on top, but they'll have their part in the game where they'll come for you, and that's what they're doing now. They're going to be on top of Crystal Palace now. I'm sure Bielsa's giving them pelters on the side as well with their first 8 minutes, so you'll see a better Leeds now.
Free kick, pumped down to the left-hand side to the returning Jordan Ayew, out for a couple of weeks after testing positive for COVID-19. He's taken the place of Batshuayi in the team. He's gone down. Was he fouled? He's convinced he was. Another Palace player who I think was Zaha is down as well. Indeed he is. Two lying prone. And Ayew, of the two, seems to be the one who's in more pain.
Yeah, I think it's probably is a foul, but I mean, footballers nowadays, I mean, you can't be touched now, and they're down. I mean, you look at the replay that we can see now, and he's not really touched Ayew, so I'm sure he'll be back up. And we're looking at it now, he's back up. What a surprise.
Gamesmanship potentially. 11.5 gone, Palace 0, Leeds 0. That's the voice of former Aston Villa and England striker Gabby Agbonlahor. It's a Palace corner, which Eze takes. It's a good delivery and a fantastic headed goal. And Palace take the lead through Scott Dann, the skipper, with his first of the season, with a wonderful header off the bar and in. Great corner from Eze, superb header from the captain, and it's Palace 1, Leeds 0.
I mean, it's a great header, isn't it, from Scott Dann? Great ball in, and I think it's the one place in the goal where the keeper can't catch it. It's off the bar and in. Yeah, it's unfortunate for the keeper. He's not going to be able to catch that, but it's a great goal from Crystal Palace, and it's a perfect start for them.
You're absolutely spot on that it effectively clips the bar before it touches the sliver of the glove of the keeper, and that is the exact gap to aim for, isn't it? Because any less and it would have been saved, and any more it would have hit the bar, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, 100%, and this is going to work into Crystal Palace's tactics. You know, they're going to want Leeds now to push more men on and play on a counter-attack, so this would be the perfect start that Roy Hodgson would have wanted.
Scotty Dann gets the job done. Very, very nice goal. 6 years he's been at the club, proper servant himself, having signed from Blackburn Rovers way back in the day in 2014. Scott Dann gives Crystal Palace the lead. It's Leeds United though on the attack, trying to respond quickly. Harrison lets the ball roll as far as Alioski, who is in perhaps a more familiar advanced position now on the left-hand edge of the penalty area. Ball is let run by young Pascal Struijk, the 21-year-old Dutchman. Crosses whipped in looking for Patrick Bamford. It's well over Bamford's head though, and easily claimed by Vicente Gaeta in the Palace goal. They'll be more than happy with how they managed to contain Leeds there. So a goal kick to Crystal Palace, which Gaeta belts downfield. Long kick looking for Jordan Ayew, who isn't necessarily going to give you much of an aerial presence. Excellent player on the floor, and he lost out there. Here come Leeds again through Harrison, with that sort of bunch of black hair that's tied behind him as he cuts in on his right foot. No real options infield, so it goes back to Alioski, who plays a 1-2 with the aforementioned Pascal Struijk, formerly of the Ajax Academy. Nice pedigree. And it's Struijk who tries for the ball against his fellow Dutchman Jairo Riedeveld, just on the edge of the Palace area. And again, Palace deal with it nicely. Here's Eberici Eze, and signed from Queen's Park Rangers in the summer, set up the goal with his corner. He's bundled over by Costa, and Eze wins the free kick. So he sets up a goal at one end, and on his return to the 11, Gabby now wins a free kick under pressure at the other.
Yeah, I really liked him last season. When I seen him, I was like, I really wanted Aston Villa to sign him, to be honest, if I'm being biased, because he's such a talented player, and he's what you want in a young player. He's hungry, he can run, he can dribble, he can score goals, assists, and he's shown that so far at Crystal Palace, and he's definitely going to be one for the future.
Just having another look on the big screen at the goal, and Robin Koch was the player who was up against Dann, and he's a pretty powerful presence himself. He's got a couple of German international caps, the man that was bought from Freiburg, and Dann did really well from a standing start to rise above him, didn't he? That is not easy.
Yeah, 100%, and it's a great header, but I feel like sometimes the attackers attacking a set piece more than the time it got the advantage, because you're running onto it. When I was defending set pieces, I felt like, you know, that I wasn't going to win the header because someone's running against you, he's going to beat you, and that's what happened there with Scott Dann.
Scott Dann, of course, who, despite being born up on Merseyside, spent a fair amount of time in our part of the world, didn't he? 4 years at Walsall, very close to where I'm from, and then Coventry and Birmingham City as well, so good lad.
He played for Birmingham City, so he's not a good lad.
2 years with your arch second City rivals, 2009 to 2011, absolutely. Anyway, we'll focus back on the task at hand. 16 gone, Palace 1, Leeds 0. And Harrison has switched flanks. Finds Ayling as Leeds just trying to break things up a little bit. Lovely exchange as far as Bamford. And Patrick Bamford scores against the club that he was on loan at back in the day. He never scored in the Premier League for Palace, but he's done it against them for Leeds. And it's Bamford's 7th of the season in 8 games. It's Palace 1, Leeds 1.
I mean, I want to see this again, see if it was offside, but Crystal Palace will be definitely angry about this goal because it come out of nothing, didn't it? We look at the replay here. No, it's onside. Yeah, onside. I mean, Nathaniel Klein and Kouyaté there are marking space. They're not marking Bamford. No one picks him up. And it's a great goal and great finish on Bamford.
What I quite liked as well, it wasn't by much, but Matthias Klick just delayed for a second as he surveyed his option, didn't he? And the run was timed perfectly, and it just got the better of the Palace defence.
Yeah, and it's a perfect situation you want as a striker. I mean, with Bamford, you want someone to be in that hole, picking the ball up there, and you can make your run, and you'll take them goals all day.
Yeah, 6 games in the Premier League on loan at Palace from Chelsea back in the 2015-16 season. We have gone to VAR to double check if the goal stands. His body was onside. My only fear is he's got an outstretched left hand, hasn't he? Oh, come on. Come on.
No.
Because of an outstretched left arm.
You can't score with your arm.
You can't score with your arm. They're saying this doesn't count. Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's a good goal, struck off, and just the momentum, the flow of the game is ruined.
Wow, I'll be fuming if I was a striker going in at half-time and seeing that. Oh my. How can...
So we're back, by the way, everybody, to Palace 1, Leeds 0.
That is laughable.
Forget all those Bamford stats.
That is laughable.
They're all now redundant unless he scores again. Come on. Oh. But I agree with you 100%. If you could score with your arm, fine, but you can't. So if you've got your arm stuck out,
probably like they say you can score with your shoulder, can't you? But his probably shoulder was onside. His arm, the rest of his arm was offside, which you can't score with. So, wow. Now strikers are going to make runs in behind with their hands next to their legs.
Well, it's outstretched because he's showing Klick where he wants the ball. It's all a legitimate part of the build-up to the very well-crafted strike.
Well, I'm lost for words, to be honest.
It's rare with you.
Yeah, I think if Leeds don't end up getting another goal in this game, I mean, they'll be making a lot of noise about this because that should be definitely a goal.
The other point that's been raised of late is should there be a minimal amount of referees' assistance called, just like in cricket where there's umpires call where if it's very, very close you stick with the on-field decision, be that a wicket or not, if you see what I mean in cricket. Lots of people saying we should have that, I don't know, 10 centimetres or something for football as well.
Yeah, but you say that then, like, I'll just think offside's offside, and it's not been too bad, the offside rule, but 1 minute your arm can't be offside, 1 minute it can. That's the consistency we need, and now the new rule is your arm can be offside. So it's incredible.
So Palace, having certainly ridden their luck, at the other end, look for a second. Keeper and centre half got in each other's way, Meslier and Koch. They were very lucky that the ball fell to an empty area of the field. No Palace player could poke it home. Palace come forward again down the far side through Van Aanholt, who's dispossessed by Costa. Riedeveld then wins it back infield as far as Eze. He's brought down by Koch. He's had a shaky start to the game, beaten for the goal, clattered into his own keeper, and now the German has given away a free kick on the edge of his own box to Eze.
I mean, I'm sure if Bielsa sees that, I don't think he'll be sitting on that stool for too long. I'm sure he'll be up. Incredible.
We'll see whether or not
I know
change is made.
It's frustrating for strikers. I mean, like you want to score goals, and then you get a goal taken off. Like, I'll be fuming. Imagine if you hadn't scored in 15 games, and that was your chance to clear your duck. and it's been given offside because your arm is offside. It's incredible.
Well, Matthias Klick, the man who set up the goal that wasn't, is the player who got injured in the build-up to this. So even though there was a free kick to Palace as Eze was hacked down, before that, Klick, I think unseen by the officials, was hurt. And I tell you what, we've already had 7 fouls in this game, and we're barely 20 minutes in. 5 for Leeds, 2 for Palace. And it's Palace eyeing up this free kick, and they've got some really exciting options here. Eze's the man who won it, and of course he took the corner for the goal, so he's got a decent foot on him. Van Aanholt has got a perler of a foot on and has scored some wonderful free kicks over the years. And Gabs, I've commentated on a couple of Andros Townsend pile drivers from 40 yards as well, so any of these are good options, aren't they?
It's a dangerous position as well for a free kick. We're sending with Ward-Prowse against Aston Villa. When you're that close and you've got the quality to get it over the wall, it's a goal. The keeper's not saving it. So it'll be interesting to see who takes it. I mean, Van Aanholt can take a great free kick as well, so it'll be interesting to see to let the right footer take it, because he's perfect for a right footer and Eze to take.
Okay, very quickly, half-time coffee on who takes it. I'm saying
Eze.
Okay, I was going to say that. Okay, I'll go Van Aanholt then.
Okay,
half-time coffee. Eze! What a goal from Emeriche Eze into the corner, and it's his first for Crystal Palace. This kid has got so much talent, so much promise, and he properly announces himself on the Premier League stage. Emeriche Eze with a wonderful free kick into the corner, and it's Palace 2, Leeds 0.
Wow, we said that, didn't I? That if you're in this position, he can get it over the wall. It's a goal. The keeper can't do anything about it. It's not his side. He just gets him really. Yeah, we're not saving that. Like the first goal, off the crossbar and in. Great free kick from Eze, and this lad's got some talent. That's a goal and assist already.
Wow. That's his first goal and his first assist in the Premier League, and they've both come in the first 22 minutes of this game. Emeriche Eze, as we've talked about, really good for Queen's Park Rangers last season. £16 million plus signing, depending on appearances and so on during his time in South London. But that move from the west of the capital to the south so far is looking like an excellent one. Still only in his early to mid-20s, good age dynamic. I think he's got a very, very good future.
And I think you just need to be at a club where you're going to play and you're going to improve, and all that he's got in his ability. I think Palace is a great club for him to play the way they play, counter-attack, dribble with the ball. You know, he can play freely under Roy Hodgson. It's a perfect club for him, and I'm really happy for him, and there's big things to come for this kid.
And what's good as well is he's got a good attitude. You can see that. I was listening to one of his interviews on Crystal Palace TV where he came across very well as well. He's going to also track back and do that kind of stuff that Hodgson likes as well, isn't he?
I think you haven't got a choice nowadays. I mean, look at Mesut Ozil. He doesn't do it. He doesn't play. I don't think anyone in the Premier League now.
Zaha maybe occasionally gets away with
maybe occasionally because he's the star man. But you got to track back now. The Premier League's changed. You haven't got anybody strikers. You've got to chase defenders about, or the defensive midfielder. You don't just get to walk around the pitch and only attack. You've got to defend as well, and he'll be no different. And he's young, fresh. He's going to have a lot of energy and fitness, and I'm sure he'll be fine doing it.
So 24 minutes gone nearly here on Premier League Live. Crystal Palace 2, Leeds 0, as Gabby Agbonlor says. Both goals off the crossbar. Scott Dan's bullet header, the captain, and the first in the Premier League, having set up the first. He scored the second, Emeriche Eze.
I'm getting a lot of tweets as well about, but I won't mention them. No, I don't want to get in no trouble, but a lot of tweets agreeing with certain comments I've made before, but we won't go into that.
Continues to poke Leeds United, who are 2 down.
I've not said a word.
Of course, Leeds dared to beat your beloved Aston Villa 3-0 a couple of weeks ago.
I don't remember that. Let's not live in the past.
Bet you don't. Well, I'll tell you what, Patrick Bamford got a hat-trick in that game. That made it 6 from 6, didn't it? Then he had an awful game last time out where he missed a complete sitter, one-on-one against Leicester. And then, just having had a rare game without a goal, thinks he's got one, and funnily enough, that's the replay on the big screen at Selhurst Park as we speak. And yeah, as we called it, it's the outstretched left arm as he calls for the ball that gives him offside. You know as a pro, don't you, if you're offside or not, pretty much, Gabby?
Yeah,
and his complete reaction as he swivels away is he thinks he's on.
Yeah, and I think like you said, the problem is as well with that decision has sort of killed the game for Leeds, hasn't it, so far? I mean, you go to 1-1, you probably go and get the next goal because you got the confidence. You get that goal disallowed, you then can see the second one. Their heads would have dropped now, and it's just that's the problem with VAR. It's not working. It's costing people points, and I mean, I feel sorry for Leeds.
Yep, completely agree. with you. And as the commentary team, we kind of get involved in the moment. We call the goal, the excitement, we try and bring it to everybody. And just, I think, in a way, makes everybody feel flat, doesn't it? If you're listening to the game, obviously if you're watching it and if you're playing in it as well. But thank goodness Mr. Eze, not long later, scored an absolute worldie to get everybody's juices flowing again and get the excitement levels back up. So that's where we stand. 2 goals, one massively controversially disallowed goal. And we're coming very nicely to the boil. Palace games often don't give you too many goals, but this one is bucking the trend nicely. In fact, I'll find the exact stat in a second for you, Gabs, but it's been a long old time since they scored more than 1 goal in the league at home. Here you go. Only once in 12 home Premier League games in 2020 have they actually managed to score 2+ goals. Wow.
Well, if you said a week ago who would they be most likely to score more than 1 goal against, you'd say Fulham or Leeds, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because of the way they play. So it's no different to this game. Leeds need to probably try and change their tactics in the future.
Yeah, it's a really good point as the ball is flicked on. Patrick Bamford scores, and they ain't going to take this one away, ladies and gentlemen. Delayed controversially minutes ago. This time Bamford against the team where he failed to score in the league on loan makes up for it with a lovely finish into the corner, and the Whites are right back into this one. Palace 2, Leeds 1.
It's a great finish there from Bamford. I mean, it seemed like he had an age, didn't he, when the ball got chested down for him. I mean, look at the replay here now. He can chest it and finish, and that's what he can do. He showed that this season. He's got that finishing in him, and it's a great goal from Bamford.
Do you know what I like as well? Having had an assist taken away as far Matthias Klick, it was his header through as well, so Klick gets his assist back and Bamford gets his goal back. Quite right.
Yeah, 100%, and that's just what they deserved, you know, a bit of justice there for Bamford after getting a goal disallowed, which was meant to be a goal, you know.
Patrick Bamford, as we know, highly rated youngster Gabby coming through at Chelsea, then all the loan spells at Palace, which wasn't great. Norwich, memory serves, didn't go particularly well. Borough was better, then he ended up there, then he was bought by Leeds. Still think a lot of people would not have expected him to have bloomed so late and done so well in the Premier League at what, 26, 27?
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but sometimes it might take you a bit of time to find the right club, the right manager, and he's found that now to play towards his style. You know, you got a manager that trusts him and is going to play him every week, and that's what you need as a player, and I'm happy for him. He's found his home.
Yeah, fair play to Patrick Bamford. Could have easily scored twice in this game, but as we stand 28 minutes in, Palace 2, Leeds 1, I think we could be in for a really, really good 60-odd minutes of this one.
This game is not over. I mean, you cannot count Leeds out. They've shown it should be 2-2 so far. There's been nothing between the two sides, so I could see another 3-4 goals in this game for sure.
Yeah, which will keep us nice and busy on a chilly November day. Remember, both locked dead level on points, and in terms of their record in the table, it's only Leeds' slightly superior goal difference that is the gap between the two. Palace, having been rocked by that goal, do some decent work in their own half through Jordan Ayew, who right-footed flicked it downfield, Gabs.
Yeah, but Zaha's been quite poor for me so far. He had a run in the first minute, then the ball's not sticking with him. He seems a bit lethargic, you know, and I think sometimes Crystal Palace will get their best results when he's on his game, but today he's been not great so far.
Do you know why? It's because I put him into my fantasy team this morning.
A few of my mates have as well.
Unfortunately, he's not got it done so far, but I'm sure Wilfried Zaha will at some stage. His stats this season are outstanding. He has scored, well, it's now 5 of 10. It was 5 of 8 heading into today. He'd scored 5 of 8 of their Premier League goals, and 7 of their 10 points coming in today are directly attributed to those goals as well. So he has been very, very important, even if still a bit hit and miss, still a bit mercurial. When he's not happy, sometimes he can struggle and make everybody know. I'm not sure that will ever change, Gabby, to be honest.
No, of course, he's that character, isn't he? But this is what happens sometimes. You're the main boy at a team, you'll get away with certain things that other players won't.
Nearly half an hour gone. Palace 2, Leeds 1. So I'm told to knuckle down again by Roy Hodgson, and he didn't go anywhere in the summer transfer window between the two closely compacted seasons. We'll see whether this January changes things up again or not, but anyway, He's calling for the ball now, Zaha, and he finally gets it. But again, the touch is not great. Ayew fed it to him. Zaha trying to counter-attack down the left-hand side, and it was a really heavy touch.
Yeah, it's lethargy, isn't it? It's lethargy play from Zaha again. He just doesn't seem like very interested, to be honest. Or maybe he's not warmed up yet.
We stay at 2-1. Palace with just 38% possession. Leeds 62, but they are still the team down, and goes back to that point that it ain't necessarily what you do, it's what you do with it. Palace, riding their luck, continue to lead. This is better from Zaha, left edge of the area, deflected effort. Line of goal by some distance in the end, but for the first proper time, Zaha flashed those eyes toward goal, beat one player, and fired it in.
This is what you want to see. This is what you want to see from Zaha. Drive inside, get shots off, get assists, and it's better for him. Hopefully he can continue this and keep improving this half.
Yeah, to his credit, it was Robin Koch who got back and made the block. Shaky first few minutes for Koch, but the number 5 with a good interception. Palace's second corner of the game, which the left-footed Andros Townsend will bend in from this near side. Promising delivery initially, but neither Dan nor Kayate could quite get up there, and again Koch doing a bit better this time than for the goal, and it flies out for a goal kick, Gabby.
Yeah, it's not the best of delivery, but you expect someone to be at the back post there, which no one was. But you know, it's just an intriguing game, isn't it? Both different formations, but Leeds for me will definitely get better and come more into this game.
People's Choice have tweeted in saying, I think that Wilfried Zaha will finally join Arsenal this January. Interesting tweet, because that is the club I believe he supported as a boy. He was linked there, wasn't he? Not this window, but the one prior. And some may say typical Arsenal, they didn't want to pay the money that Palace needed. But he wanted to go, didn't he? And that was one of the times he did really publicly make it clear that he fancied the move.
Yeah, 100%. And there's no hiding that he wants to go to Arsenal, but it's all about the money, isn't it? And you know, you say Arsenal might get him in January, but maybe Arsenal don't need him at the moment. They've got Pepe, they've got Willian, you know, they've got Aubameyang who plays on the wing, so it'll be interesting to see in January.
But they have got, as I know as much as anybody, also working for them for some of my commentaries, games so thick, so fast in so many different competitions. Maybe one more bit of kind of more premium finished quality to go with the players you listed, plus their array of exciting youngsters. I don't know, I could maybe see it work. And do you know what, under someone like Mikel Arteta as a different foil to Hodgson, I wonder if he could improve Zaha even at 28.
Yeah, 100%. I would love him to go there. I could picture him on the left. That'll give Aubameyang the chance to play down the middle.
Yeah.
With Willian on the right. It'll be an amazing thing to see, but I just can't see it. I think Arsenal have had the chance to get him, haven't they? How many years now, and they still haven't. Are they really going to want to pay the money that Palace are going to ask for?
We shall wait and see. Palace 2, Leeds 1, 33 gone. Goal kick to Palace, which later takes an age to kick downfield. Brent Parker, as he does every week, has tweeted in from his lovely cafe in Montana, USA, saying this gunner is in need for a draw in this game. That would be the best result for Arsenal, he says. I also want a Chelsea loss later to help my team's cause. And he says, sorry, I'll grab a picture of some vegan food for you next time, Gabby. Keep up the great work, boys. Best commentary as ever. And oh my goodness, another filthy, gorgeous looking burger with pulled pork, onion rings, cheese, meat asunder. Oh, dirty fries as well, Gabby. Oh, that looks amazing, Brent.
You're making me hungry.
Tell you what, if the press food here at half-time is anything like that, Brent, we will be very, very happy. 2-1 as Palace come forward through Cheika Koyate. Finds Zaha, who drops deep, interestingly, all the way back to halfway to try and get a little bit more of the ball. Liam Cooper, the Leeds captain, goes with him. Zaha did well under pressure to get it back as far as James McArthur. He's had a quiet game so far on his return to the team. The Scot in for the suspended Luka Milojevic, and he's down, having lost out in a tough tussle with the Northern Irishman Stuart Dallas. Dallas's early ball is a little hurried to the far side, where the Portuguese international Helder Costa fails to hold on to it, but then stumbling Costa, wearing 17, does well to win it back. Leeds will start another attack from just inside their own half. Not a pretty passage of play, but Leeds at least are doing the dirty work here and getting a better opportunity, maybe.
Yeah, it's both teams that are playing well, aren't they? Both teams are defending well, attacking well, and I just feel that there's nothing in it. This game could definitely go either way. I mean, Leeds, you know, they're going to get better because Bielsa will be giving them some stick at half time, so it's a very good game at the moment.
John from Jos Plateau State in Nigeria thinks that Leeds may yet come back and get something, and that Palace may yet be made to pay. Yeah, you may well be right, but if Palace could get a third here, you would think it would be the perfect time to really start their ascendancy as Eze bursts forward, but it's a poor ball this time, asking a bit too much of Wilfried Zaha. The breach Eze immediately apologises there. Zaha looks around frustratedly as the ball trickles out for another Leeds United throw. Of course, this is a new combination though, Eze and Zaha, isn't it? I mean, Eze's only started a couple of games for Palace. It'll take a while maybe for that one to fully gel.
Yeah, when he keeps coming in the team, doesn't he, Eze, and coming out. It'd be nice for him to be given a run now at games under Hodgson and let him show what everyone what he can do and get them partnerships with AU Townsend and Zaha, because we've seen that he's got the quality, so hopefully he can get them chances.
Well, he can do no more than an assist and a goal inside the first 20 odd minutes on his return to the starting 11, and that's exactly where we stand as Leeds come from halfway once more. Head to head, by the way, Palace with 1 draw, 1 win, 2 draws, 5 defeats against Leeds in their last 8 in all competitions, but Leeds are winless on their last 4 trips to Selhurst Park. That could well become 5 if things continue here. James McArthur's had a better few minutes, the Scot. Eases it forward to Andros Townsend, who on that strong left foot cuts in from the right. Poor ball though, asking too much of Eze. It's easily cut out by Dallas, and here come Leeds on the counter-attack. End to end here on Premier League Live. 36 gone, Palace 2, Leeds 1. As Alioski finds Harrison. Left-footed delivery from Allison. And, you know, Nathaniel Klein has been pretty quiet at right-back for Palace. He's steadily done his job, gone about his business, and Klein with a good block there at the expense of a throw. Yeah, but I'm really disappointed in Townsend there. He gives the ball away and he just jogs back. He doesn't really fight to help double up with Klein, you know. And on another day, Harrison gets past Klein and gets a crossing. So disappointing from Townsend. You expect more work rate from him there. Nathaniel Klein in his second spell, of course, with Palace. Went away to Southampton where he did well, then Liverpool where things didn't quite click. Leeds corner, conceded by Klein, taken by Harrison. Koyate does well up against Koch. It falls back to Harrison as he tries to beat Townsend. He just miscontrols and the ball trickles out of play for a Palace throw. Yeah, Klein without a club at the start of the season. No one picked him up after Liverpool, and this is an England international and a player himself who's still only in his late 20s. I think this could be a good idea to bring him back to where it all started. Yeah, 100%. You just got to give these players games, haven't you? That's what they need, and he's shown in his career how much of a good player he's been, and it's credit to his old club giving him a chance, because he looks like he was struggling out there for an opportunity. So fair play to Roger, and he's showing the faith that Hodgson give him in his performances. Eze tussling with Dallas there, both go crashing to earth, and the ball rebounds to Leeds. Matthias Klick, who set up the disallowed goal and then the actual goal for Patrick Bamford, brings it forward the pole and plays it as far as Costa. Costa losing out to Eze though, and Eze then very intelligently plays the ball off Matthias Klick and out for a throw. More good work from Eberici Eze. Klick, of course, Polish international. It's 2 goals and 2 assists for him so far this season now. So went from Twente in the Eredivisie. Took a while to really bed in at Leeds. Was loaned back to Utrecht at one point, but Matthias Klick really has made a proper home for himself in recent times too, hasn't he? Yeah, that's what you'd like to see then, you know, players having that chance and showing that they can perform at this level, and he's done that, hasn't he, so far at Leeds? So credit to him and credit to the club sticking by him. Absolutely, as Palace look for their third. Eze to Zaha, who slips, but it still falls to Townsend. Appeals for handball against Luke Ayling. Did it hit Ayling's arm or not? There are appeals, but I have to say, after an initial quick one, it all died down. A bit too close to be given anywhere. But of course, if your arm's outstretched, even if you're right up against it, it could be given. I think it's the fact that it was too close, but he hadn't broken the natural body silhouette. Here's the replay. Exactly that. Yeah, you can't give that, can you? Well, you could if it was outstretched, but not, as you say, if it's close and it's tucked into the body like that. You're absolutely spot on. That bit of the handball rule we do agree with. The hand for offside, we do not. Loads of tweets, by the way, on that. I'll just read out a couple quickly without going back there too much. Luke Tibble says, how on earth can you be offside with your arm? Good question, Luke. And Rory Barker, they've done the offside line to his sleeve. What an absolute joke. VAR officials have got a serious lack of common sense. The boy is miles onside. Rory, I think you've summed that up very well. Can't argue. Nearly 40 gone. Palace 2, Leeds 1, as Jairo Riedeveld, the Dutchman, just stumbles but wins a free kick as he's upended by Klick in the process. Palace take this one quickly. Townsend flicks it on to the aforementioned Nathaniel Klein. Low cross. Jack Harrison did really well to come scurrying back, win it back for Leeds United. They belt it downfield. Koyate up against Bamford. And Cheika Koyate did well under pressure to just let that trickle out for another Palace throw. Do you see one more goal before half-time, or are both teams digging in now?
Yeah, I think both teams are digging in. I can't see a goal now, but definitely second half I can see a few more goals, because Leeds are only going to get better, and I think Palace are due another a few attacks, especially with Zaha and Townsend.
NYC Guna, every week these laughable decisions by VAR get worse and worse. The only thing that will change it is the men at the top being replaced. And then NYC Guna comes on to say that Mike Riley is an incompetent leader in his view, and this is an absolutely disgraceful decision. Yeah, I think there's a fair bit of truth to that one. And Brent Park is saying VAR strikes again. That is simply horrible for Leeds. What a shame to change the momentum of the game. Honestly, the refs are running amok. A despicable call. Well, I think pretty much everybody unified in that, but we must credit Leeds for coming back and getting a goal in the end, even if then Palace went straight back ahead. So Dan and Eze with the goals for Palace. Leeds through Bamford, set up by Click, exactly the combination that was denied by the officials a few minutes earlier. Passing stats in this one: 76% accurate for Palace and 83 for Leeds, so not too bad. We've still seen the odd scrappy moment, haven't we? This makes you feel that, Gabby, these aren't teams that, as you alluded to, are going to be too near the top of the table by the end of the season. They can only really do it in gluts, can't they?
Yeah, they look like two mid-table teams, don't they, that will win some games and lose some games and make some surprise results. But I suppose they're doing what they do, don't they?
They do. Oh, it's taken a deflection, and from nowhere it's in. Patrick Van Aanholt tried to cross it, flicked off Helder Costa. Meslier could do nothing about it. He'd come to claim the cross, and it fires past the young Frenchman, off the Portuguese and into the net. It's incredibly unlucky for Leeds. Boy, Palace will take that one. It's Crystal Palace 3, Leeds 1.
I think that shot me a bit there. I want to see the replay on our screens of that, because it was a bit of a free goal, wasn't it? A great run from Van Holt, great run, ball by Zaha, and it crosses it. Yeah, off Helder Costa, but can the keeper do better?
I personally think you look at the angle of the original cross, it's going nowhere near goal. The keeper's come out to where he sees it going. I don't think he can do much myself.
Yeah,
I just think he's really unlucky.
Yeah, it's a bit unlucky, isn't it? And it's a problem when you try and anticipate where it's going to go. But I just feel that the keeper was trying to go where. I mean, Townsend was marked in the box, if you see.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe he should have just stayed on his line. But it's a free goal, and nothing you can do about that for Leeds.
Well, they've been very ambitiously on the tannoy, being a home game, given it to Patrick Van Aanholt, but there is no way in the world that won't officially be given as a Helder Costa own goal.
No
the cross was nowhere near the goal.
Exactly.
Which is what kind of fooled Meslier.
Definitely be an own goal, but I think it's been a free game, hasn't it? But if you lead, you're worried about the goals they're conceding this season, you know, like sooner or later you can't have to score 4 goals to win a game in the Premier League every week.
Yeah, no, it's a very fair point. 4-3, of course, they lost to Liverpool, then they beat Fulham 4-3. Then things tightened up a little bit, didn't they? Clean sheet against Sheffield United, only 1 conceded against Man City, 1 against Wolves, and the clean sheet against Villa. Sorry, I'm not allowed to mention that one, it didn't happen. But then beyond that, 4 shipped last time out, 3 so far in this. So weirdly, they've had 2 games at the start and the end of the campaign so far where they've shipped 7 or 8, with then a really good spell in between briefly.
Exactly, so it's something that they need to sort out really, because there's going to be games this season where you're going to be playing a better team than Crystal Palace. You could be losing 6-7, probably 7-4. You know, there'll be some freak results, definitely.
Well, in this crazy league, we've seen obviously a couple of teams, Spurs and Liverpool, with 6 and 7 put past them. By Spurs and of course by Villa. You'll remember that one, don't you? But yeah, in this crazy league, anything can happen, and absolutely right, the susceptibility here for Leeds could be worrying. Palace fancy a 4th before half-time. We've got a few seconds to go until time added on at the end of the first half, and in the end, Ayew and Zaha just get slightly in each other's way, and this time the ball trickles through with no deflection.
They're playing 3 at the back, 5 at the back, but they're very open, aren't they, Leeds? When you look at them, when Palace receive the ball, it's like no one knows who to pick up because it's like a false number 9 really with AU that they're playing, Palace. The 3 Leeds centre-halves don't really know who to pick up, and it's been quite troubling this first half.
Tweet of the day I'll read in a second from Gary Walker, who's in America. It is very, very good. Anyway, we'll come to that in a second. Can Leeds get one before the break? Here's Jack Harrison, of course, who came to prominence in the USA. Wins the free kick. Really good play from the 22. Just delayed his attempt to cross, was brought down. And it will be a free kick to Leeds in a nice attacking position, as you probably heard on the tannoy. 2 additional minutes and a chance for Leeds to get one back. Harrison, promising player, still only 23, played his high school soccer in Massachusetts, having been born in Stoke, was the MLS #1 draft pick in 2016, went to New York City, was then picked up by Manchester City, and he's on effectively a long-term loan at Leeds. And I know a lot of American fans are very interested in Jack Harrison, and rightly so. He doesn't take the free kick that he won, though. Click bends it in right-footed. Could have been the outswinger from Harrison's left. It was the inswinger from the right boot of the pole. It was a good delivery, but again, Palace dealt with that well. We've seen that a couple of times, haven't we, from the dead balls from out wide?
Yeah, and it's dangerous crossing, isn't it? But they've dealt with it quite well there, and just got to see it through now, Palace. There's 1 minute left, and it'll be a great scoreline to go into half-time with.
Gary Walker, VAR makes the US election counting seem well done. Brilliant, Gary. Love it. Having a Saturday break here in Oregon, listening to you guys. We won't go into politics quite clearly. But Gary, excellent tweet. Here's Helder Costa, the man with that very unlucky own goal, to Bamford. Flicked on by Click again, looking for Bamford once more. It's just over the striker's head, though, and it's easily claimed by Vicente Gaeta. Boy, would Costa love to get an assist at the right end, having seen that ball ricochet off him with the attempted block for Palace's third goal. Gabby, just a few seconds to go till half-time. Do you see Palace holding on in the second half?
No, I can actually see a draw in this game. I'm not going to ever go against Leeds coming back in the game. They've got the qualities, they've got the fitness levels to carry on, and I think they'll push this game, Crystal Palace team, in the second half, and there's more goals. I can easily see a 4-4, mate.
Wow, that will keep us very busy. And there is the half-time whistle from referee Christopher Kavanagh. And what a game it has been so far. Scott Dan's header from Eze's corner puts Palace ahead. Leeds think they've equalised through Patrick Bamford. It's very harshly ruled out by VAR for offside. Then Bamford does score, again assisted by Click to make it 1-1. Thunderous free kick for his first in the Premier League and his first for Palace for Ebery Eze. And then a vicious deflection of poor old Helder Costa. Patrick Van Aanholt's delivery is another goal for Palace, and that's where we stand at the break. Half time, it's Crystal Palace 3, Leeds United 1, Premier League Live.
This November, watch the big games every weekend with Sky Sports and Sports Extra half price. This week it's Man City Liverpool, live only on Sky Sports.
Splendid, succinct Liverpool.
In one of the biggest games in the Premier League calendar.
Manchester City are being merciless.
Get Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports half price for 6 months. Search Sky Sports Sale. New sports customers only. Standard pricing applies after 6 months or if cancelling one element of the bundle. Minimum term and further terms apply.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Ranger Wildtrak from €440 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost a standard rate. Price quoted is for a Ranger Wildtrak with no maintenance over 4 years with a €1,750 deposit. 15,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Marion Fleet Management. Trading as Ford Lease.
Upgrade your home viewing experience at Curry's PC World. See every tackle, shot and goal in crystal clear definition with our huge range of the latest to market large screen TVs with massive savings. Like save up to €130 on Samsung 4K TVs from only $459 and get your TV for half price. 1 in 20 win half their money back. Buy any LG OLED TV to enter with prices from just $1,249. Shop the full range online at currys.ie.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Scóil Chéile. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
123ink.ie for all your home office needs, including printers, ink, toners, paper, label markers,
Binders, pens, bins, batteries, boxes, chalk, compass, files, memory sticks, highlighters, glue, notepads,
Whoa! And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123ink.ie for home, for office, for less.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings. Sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets, and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Crystal Palace against Leeds United from Selhurst Park. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves. Alongside me, the former Aston Villa and England striker, Gabby Agbonlahor. This is Premier League Live. We've seen 4 goals, should have seen 5. Controversy, drama. To round it all up for you. Palace corner, which Eze takes. It's a good delivery and a fantastic headed goal. And Palace take the lead through Scott Dan, the skipper, with his first of the season, with a wonderful header off the bar and in. Great corner from Eze, superb header from the captain, and it's Palace 1, Leeds 0. Leeds just trying to break things up a little bit. Lovely exchange as far as Bamford, and Patrick Bamford scores against the club that he was on loan at back in the day. Oh, come on. Come on. Because of an outstretched left arm.
You can't score with your arm.
You can't score with your arm. They're saying this doesn't count. Oh, that's ridiculous. Eze! What a goal from Emeriche Eze into the corner. And it's his first for Crystal Palace. This kid has got so much talent, so much promise, and he properly announces himself on the Premier League stage. Emeriche Eze with a wonderful free kick into the corner, and it's Palace 2, Leeds 0. Patrick Bamford scores, and they ain't going to take this one away, ladies and gentlemen. Delayed controversially minutes ago. This time Bamford against the team where he failed to score in the league on loan makes up for it with a lovely finish into the corner, and the Whites are right back into this one. Palace 2, Leeds 1. Oh, it's taken a deflection, and from nowhere it's in. Patrick Van Aanholt tried to cross it, flicked off Helder Costa. Meslier could do nothing about it. He'd come to claim the cross, and it fires past the young Frenchman, off the Portuguese and into the net. It's incredibly unlucky for Leeds. Boy, Palace will take that one. It's Crystal Palace 3, Leeds 1. Sums it up very nicely. Excellent work from the boys behind the glass there with the look back at the first half, Gabby, and yeah, it was a hell of a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't expect it, did we? Sometimes you see Crystal Palace games and you expect them to be a 0-0 or 1-0 because they don't really score many goals, but today they've been out, they've been scoring goals for fun, haven't they? And it's been a good performance from both teams, and I just feel sorry for Bamford with the first goal not being given, and that's going to be the big talking point of the game, isn't it, rather than the scoreline?
Completely agree. I'm just going to read you one tweet on it from Jack Frost, who's enjoying the commentary from Los Angeles, California, where they're still, he says, waiting for their first rain since May, and he sent a nice picture of some dark clouds nestling over those California hills, so maybe they will get some. He says, as for the offside, why can't we go back to it being the feet that need to be behind those of the other player, i.e. just have one line that's drawn on the pitch, on the floor, and not this 3D one that goes up the body? I think that's not a bad shout.
Yeah, 100%, but I just feel with this offside, like, everyone's going to be baffled. It's going to be the talking point of the weekend because you can't score with your arm, so they do say that if you're offside by your arm, it's fine, but Bamford was not given the goal because he was offside by his arm, so it's just once again strange decisions, and like we've complained about VAR all season. This time is another one. Another person that is in that VAR office will probably say that it's a goal because it's his arm. So it's just confusing for me, and I think the whole of the Premier League will be baffled seeing that today.
Just quickly, by the letter of the law, I think the change from last season is that because you can now score with your shoulder, whereas last season you couldn't. That's the change. That if it hits your shoulder, that isn't a goal this season, whereas last season it would have been. But the other point is, how can you be sure exactly where it hits? You've got a sleeve there, you've got obviously clothing above the body. That's the other point here. We understand the slight shift in terms of what is legal and what isn't, but it's then trying to judge that precisely with such minutiae.
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? And I mean, what are they going to say now when you ask the question? They'll probably say that, yeah, maybe part of his shoulder was offside.
No, exactly.
A centimetre of his shoulder was offside. So it's all nonsense to me, really. I mean, I'm lost for words, really. If I was a striker, I'd be absolutely fuming to lose a goal like Bamford lost today.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what then, as we get a quick cup of coffee at half-time before the players come back out, let's quickly bring you a bit more managerial reaction. First, Man United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after their 3-1 win at Everton. Ole Gunnar saying after that 1-0 defeat to Arsenal, and of course Wednesday's horrendous 2-1 defeat at Istanbul Başakşehir, he fully expected this response.
Yeah, we've had a quick word with the players, of course, both in groups, units and individually. But they all said the same, and when I look them in the eye, they've got that desire, and no one likes to be criticised, no one likes to lose a game of football, and I was pretty sure, or I was 100% sure we got a performance, but you can never know if you get a result or not. Today we deserved the win as well, because I thought we were the better team.
Well done to Manchester United, back on to 10 points from 7 games, exactly the same as these two as they head into the second half, Palace and Leeds. 2 more commentary games today to look forward to. Of course, Chelsea-Sheffield United is next up at 5:30 UK, so in just over an hour and a half's time with Dave Kitson and Tom Reddy. We heard pre-match from Sheffield United's Chris Wilder. Here's the Chelsea manager Frank Lampard saying that he's slowly seeing his squad find the balance that it needs.
Well, in the last few games, yes, we played it a lot last year, but when we had the change of personnel in the summer and some of the players that came in, there was a versatility in the way they played. So I suppose things that we would normally work out in pre-season, we had to work out in real time. So we had a slight change in formation earlier. With the 4-3-3 has worked well recently. I think it does give a good balance to our team. So there's a balance with the system always, where you want to pick the right one, and then the players sometimes have to adjust for that as well. So you need intelligent players that want to take the information on board. We have that, so we just need to keep working on it, and also be ready to be flexible if needs be at times.
Frank Lampard ahead of Chelsea-Sheffield United, still to come tonight as well, 8 p.m. UK, so in just over 4 hours, Andrew Self and Rufus Brevitt will guide you through West Ham versus Fulham. If you missed it already, Brighton and Burnley goalless last night, Southampton 2, Newcastle 0, with goals from Shea Adams and from Stuart Armstrong. Gabby, in a sentence, very quickly, Perry Albert, who do you support when Nigeria play England?
Me, I support. I sort of sit on the fence, to be honest, in that game. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to call. I don't support either because my dad's obviously Nigerian. I'm half Nigerian and half English, so I don't support anyone, or I support both. That sounds better.
We said no politics in the show, but that was a very diplomatic answer, my friend. He asked because, of course, Eberechi still theoretically has that decision to make, maybe, and that is a very good point, Perry. Thank you. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in a moment. The second half of Palace Leeds, right here, Premier League Live.
This November, watch the big games every weekend with Sky Sports and Sports Extra half price. This week it's Man City Liverpool, live only on Sky Sports.
Splendid, succinct Liverpool
in one of the biggest games in the Premier League calendar.
Manchester City are being merciless.
Get Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports half price for 6 months. Search Sky Sports Sale. New Sports customers only. Standard pricing applies after 6 months or if cancelling one element of the bundle. Minimum term and further terms apply.
Get ready and hold on tight because the Premier League is here. Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football, plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed, because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen. Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tires. The Irish Tire Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tires. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tires below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimeters. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tire safety check to ensure your tires are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fpd.ie to request a quote. FPD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no-claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no-claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FPD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FPD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FPD Insurance PLC.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So, in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Walk to the shops. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. Get a completely free €5 bet on Man City v Liverpool this Sunday. Claim yours now. Paddy Power. Online exclusive. New customers must deposit 1 bet per customer. Opt-in required. T's and C's apply. 18 plus gamblingcare.ie.
You're listening to Talk Sports coverage of Crystal Palace against Leeds United from Selhurst Park. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me, the former Aston Villa and England striker Gabby Agbonlahor. This is Premier League Live. Decent bit of music to get us going for the second half. Gabby, would you have strutted your stuff to this back in the day, I wonder? He's just popped off for a drink. We'll ask him that in a moment. He might be boogieing downstairs, actually. We'll see what Gabby thinks as he returns in a second. And we get ready for the second half with the players already out there in at the middle. Gabs, you're back. Just wondering if you would ever have danced off to this back in the day, this music.
Great song, isn't it? Bit of a song reminds me of the boxing. Great song.
So an affirmative yes. Good.
Of course.
Now we've got a half-time sub, by the way, for Leeds United. Helder Costa has gone off and Rafinha has come on. Now Rafinha, the Brazilian midfielder, was in doubt with an ankle injury for this game, missed the last one, was fit enough for the bench, and he is on at the break. Gabby, what do you make of that?
Yeah, he likes to make changes, doesn't he? When he feels it's the right time. It doesn't matter if there's 20 minutes gone or 45 minutes gone, Bielsa, so he looks like an attacking change, and hopefully it pulls off for him.
Certainly a player who probably would be in the starting lineup or close to it when fully fit, so it's a player of good pedigree. And with the greatest respect, looking at this Leeds bench, there's probably only Tyler Roberts, maybe Ian Poveda. There isn't a lot there, is there, today? There's a lot of youngsters.
Yeah, 100%, and I actually feel sorry for Costa. I feel like the own goal has got him substituted, funny enough, but football is ruthless, and I'm sure this player is one that they've brought in to start games anywhere.
And also, he's not someone, Helder Costa, who would necessarily be accustomed to playing as a wing back. Yes, he could, but it would not be his preference, and tried his best over the course of that first half, and I'm sure that didn't help his cause either.
No, 100%, and his confidence as well, isn't it? He hasn't had the best of halves, and to concede that own goal, his confidence would have been down, and maybe that's why the manager's brought him off. But looking at Palace so far this second half, I like the way they're wingers are coming inside and playing 1-2s with AU and Eze. It's exciting play from Crystal Palace.
Yeah. In theory a 4-4-2, but as you say, AU sometimes gets himself drawn wide given his pace and his guile, and almost acts as more of a 4-5-1. And it worked pretty nicely there until eventually I think Jordan Ayew was adjudged to have pulled his opposite number, which he is, just tugs a shirt and And Leeds United get the free kick right by their far left corner flag, which Luke Ayling dummies to take, and instead he'll leave it for his goalkeeper, Ilan Meslier. So we'll take this opportunity to run through the teams again. Remember, it's Palace 3, Leeds 1 out at half-time. We're 2 minutes into the second half. Palace with Gaeta in goal, Klein, Kayate, Dan the skipper and Van Aanholt at the back, MacArthur, Riedeveld, Eze and Townsend in midfield, and Ayew off Zaha up front. And Leeds will come to their team in a moment because they're on the defensive as Palace surge forward again through Jordan Ayew, the Ghanaian, with a lively start to the second half. Didn't see a huge amount necessarily of him in the first, had his moments. The man who's back from a positive coronavirus test that saw him sit out 2 or 3 games, of course. Leeds now building from the back themselves through Luke Ayling. And Rafinha, I think, is pretty much like for like taken up that right wing back berth. Would you assess it to be the same, Gabby?
Yeah, it looks like the same formation, and he's gone into that role. Maybe it's not the role that he's used to, but I'm sure he'll do it for the cause.
Pascal Struijk up as far as Bamford, who tries a little 1-2 with Click, which worked for a goal, and for that controversially disallowed goal as well in the first half. Foul on the far side. Man sent sprawling by the captain Liam Cooper. It was Wilfred Zaha. Cooper upended him pretty unceremoniously. Ooh, yeah, definitely contact on that one. Yeah, Wilfred Zaha, of course, who wanted a penalty last time out. There were quite a few frustrations for Palace in that 2-0 defeat to Wolves. Among them was, I thought, a bit of contact and a penalty that wasn't given. Is that sometimes Zaha's reputation still counting against him?
Yeah, and it always will. Players like him, they're always going to go down quite easy. It's their style of play. You're never going to take that away from them. And the way we're seeing penalties going nowadays, you don't really blame these players. You can go down with a slight touch and win a penalty. We've seen it recently. We've seen it with Salah last weekend, and it will continue.
Yeah, very, very good point. Minimal contact maybe for Mo Salah. Plenty of media and fan reaction to that one, as we well know. Leeds just playing themselves out of danger, but overplaying as Dallas rather unceremoniously and uncharacteristically gives it away. As far as Ayew to Zaha, who's twisting and turning, still going. Wilf Zaha beat 3 players and probably overdid it as he tried 1 pirouette too many and eventually lost out to a packed wall of white at the back for Leeds. Leeds get it clear, and they properly get it clear because Rafinha has just beaten James MacArthur. All ends up. And Leeds work the ball from their own box to the edge of the opposing box as Click bends in the cross looking for Patrick Bamford. Dan's there up against him, and Palace get it to relative safety. Leeds coming again on the far side. Pascal Struijk again. As far as Dusan Alioski, the Macedonian.
I just hope Crystal Palace don't try and overdo certain situations, because this game is not over yet. You cannot rule this Leeds side out of coming back into it.
Spot on, and a lovely crossfield ball there from one wing back to the other. Cross was put in, and in the end I think it's Andros Townsend who opts for safety first. Indeed it is, under pressure from Jack Harrison, and Townsend pokes it behind for a Leeds corner.
Palace have to be careful. They had a few chances there with Zaha where they're trying to overdo it a bit. They can't become cocky, because this Leeds side have shown they can come back and get 3 to 4 goals a game. So this game is not over yet.
Leeds' third corner of the game to Palace's 2. Liam Cooper, by the way, went into the book for that challenge on Wilfred Zaha. I didn't see it at the time, but the ref, I think, brandished it as the two had a little discussion away from the ball. Ball is put behind for another corner. And again, Jack Harrison, left-footed, went on loan from Man City, will bend it. Oh, it's a good delivery. Cox up there. That could have gone absolutely anywhere. There were 4 Leeds shirts up. Palace a bit static. And in the end, it fizzed behind for a goal kick. Was that Rafinha, the new man, who was up there?
Yeah, it looked like it, didn't it? You see the replay. No, it was Struijk.
It was Struijk.
Midfielder, yeah, and you look at that as a big chance. I mean, if he directed that header, it would have been a goal.
Actually, Rafinha was completely unmarked behind that glut of players as well. Had an ounce more power, could have maybe gone over Struijk and over Cooper. And he was arriving at a rate of knots, Rafinha, as it was. Pascal Struijk, the former Dutch under-17 international, ended up firing wide. 51 gone. Palace 3. Leeds 1. Eberechi Eze with a goal and an assist so far, brings the ball down well. Little 1-2 with Riedeveld, finds Zaha. Now to Jordan Ayew, left edge of the box, cutting in. Oh, thinks about the shot, shoots second time around. It's blocked by Luke Ayling. Palace come again. This is much better from Roy Hodgson's Eagles. Eze has a fire from distance. That one not quite fitting into the corner as his last did, but worth a go.
It's quite disappointing for me from watching Leeds. I'm looking at their team there. They've got 5 centre-halves there, picking nobody up. And you look at Crystal Palace, there's a lot more goals in it for them here. Leeds are playing a team and a formation where no one's pressing the ball.
52 goal, Palace 3, Leeds 1. Van Aanholt riding his luck for the third with the deflection off Costa, but he did find himself denied a penalty for a narrow offside in that loss to Wolves. Batshuayi had a goal disallowed for offside. We mentioned Zaha's penalty claim, so to be fair, Palace maybe a little unlucky in that previous game. Roy Hodgson also was bemoaning Milivojević's red card, saying it shouldn't have been. Did you see that, Gabs? He got the ball, Milivojević, but he also got an awful lot of the man studs up, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's what I mean sometimes. It doesn't matter if you get the ball, if it's a dangerous tackle when you get the ball, it's still got to be a red card. It just shows that the game's moved on now. You've got to be careful how you challenge. You can't just challenge how you like and get the ball. You've got to be more careful now with challenges.
I thought so as well. And even though he did get, as we say, about half the ball, that was a nasty challenge in the end, wasn't it? So the right decision was probably made on João Moutinho. So 3 games that the club captain for Palace, having only just worked his way back into the starting 11, funnily enough. Milivojević, the penalty taker largely when he plays, and very important part of the team. Had to self-isolate after Serbian national duty, and they just couldn't get back into the team at the start of the season. Finally did, and then got that red card. So MacArthur into the midfield today. He's been quite quiet, James MacArthur, but I guess he's done his job relatively well.
Yeah, he's not in there, is he? He's not in the team to produce goals and assists. He's in there to win the ball back and keep the ball moving, and he does his job effectively.
But he can occasionally, funnily enough, have a glut of goals. I remember 3 or 4 seasons ago he had a run, didn't he, where he scored 3 or 4. So weirdly he can do it, but I guess it's about doing the job you're asked to do at any given time.
Exactly, and the way Palace play, they've got enough attacking players in the team with Eze, Townsend, Ayew, Zaha to go and get them goals. They don't really need the goals coming from MacArthur.
Well, I do think Riedewald switching from a defender to midfield has worked beautifully. Hodgson said it in his media conference a couple of weeks ago. He's just sat very nicely in front of the defence. It's another Leeds corner, by the way. Harrison looking for his fellow ponytailed player in the form of Ayling. It rebounds off Ayling high into the air. Koch is there, up against Kouyaté. In the end, it's off Robin Koch, but only as far as Andros Townsend, who right-footed, is more than happy to smack that one downfield for a Leeds throw, just inside their own half on the far side. Leeds, by the way, never had the chance to run through their team. It's Meslier, Struijk, Ayling, Koch and Cooper, the captain. Click, Dallas, Alioski, Harrison, Bamford, and the new man playing at right wing back for the second half is Rafinha, who's replaced Helder Costa. And it's Leeds on the attack through Dallas. The Northern Irishman tries to clip it forward to Bamford, and again Scott Down is there. Not put a foot wrong all game, Scott Down. Ayew as far as Townsend as Palace now counter-attack. It's Townsend up against Alioski, 2 pacey players going for it on the far side. Was there a foul? The answer is no. Alioski just lent into Andros Townsend. He was matching him for pace, which is no easy feat, and managed to get it back. That wasn't bad, was it?
No, you expect that from Leeds United players. They're going to track back, they're going to run forward and back and defend as a team, and Alioski does that well.
Yeah, but impressed actually on his return in the slightly unfamiliar role. Here is Harrison, who's become increasingly involved over the course of the game. Alioski's delivery, not a bad one, looking for Bamford on the edge of the 6-yard box, but Jacinto Gaeta makes the block, and we stay Palace 3, Leeds 1, with 55 minutes gone right here on Premier League Live. Going to be another Crystal Palace goal kick in a moment. Gabby, I'm just wondering what else Leeds can do from here. For me, probably Tyler Roberts, the pacey young Welshman.
Yeah,
bring him on.
He's done it right, hasn't he? But is he Premier League quality? I don't think he's showing it in his cameo appearances this season.
Probably done better for Wales, actually, hasn't he?
They look quite short, don't they, on options. Leeds haven't really got a plan B, have they? You look at striker-wise, you had Rodrigo now. They've got no one apart from Bamford. So I don't think I can see any more changes from Leeds at the moment. I feel like the team they've got out there at the moment is their best team possible at the moment.
Ian Poveda-Ocampo wearing 7 attacking midfielder is probably the other option, but at the moment Leeds are on the back foot once more. It is MacArthur, funnily enough, showing a bit more of his forward skills as he dribbles it downfield. He's dispossessed by Struijk. Bamford helps him and now finds Rafinha as Leeds counter-attack. Bamford tried a clever first-time ball to Dallas, which was blocked by guess who, Scott Down again. possibly man of the match so far. I know Eze's played well, but Dan's been brilliant.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? But I feel we've still got a long 35 minutes left.
So far, I stress.
Yes, for sure.
Now, Ealing's unhappy because Saha's gone down and got the free kick this time, but he still doesn't look happy.
Yeah, that wasn't a fair free kick for me, though. I think Zaha just took a bit too much time in the ball, and Ealing got the ball fairly.
So we stay at 3-1. 14 fouls in the game so far already. 5 for Palace, 9 for Leeds. So Leeds are winning the foul count, if not the match count. And it is a Palace free kick about midway inside the Leeds half, right beneath our vantage point here on Premier League Live. Patrick Van Aanholt will take it. He's bemoaning a lack of options and movement, so goes short as far as Eze. Then the ball's out, and that's a proper waste, isn't it, of the opportunity?
Yeah, you want to make the most of them opportunities, but I just feel that Palace at this time just want to try and kill this game, don't they? One more goal and the game's over, so they'll be looking to get that now.
Ryan McKinney's just waking up in New York, listening to us, saying it's going to be a beautiful day for once here. What are the conditions like for the second half? Ryan, I would say it's not too bad. It's overcast and cold, but at least it's dry, and there's not really any wind today either, which is nice. They're pretty good playing conditions, I'd have said.
Yeah, definitely. This is the perfect weather, really. Not too cold, not too warm. Players don't like playing in the hot weather, and it's not wet either. Perfect game, perfect weather for a game of football.
Yemi is playing FIFA on his laptop or listening to us. Good man. He's also looking forward to Chelsea Man United later, which is the game he's playing. And Neo Man says, I've got Bamford in my fantasy team. I'm happy he's got one, but I'm furious we don't have 2 and extra points. He says, yet more the AR controversy in the EPL. Absolutely, my friend. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. 3-1 to Palace. Leeds have just plateaued a bit again after a lively start to the second half. They just need perhaps a new dimension, but as Gabi Agbonlahor says, their options off the bench, particularly having brought Rafinha on, are a bit limited. We should add they're without Rodrigo, their record signing. He tested positive for COVID recently. England international Calvin Phillips is out, of course, with a shoulder problem at the moment. Diego Llorente is injured as well, a muscle injury picked up on Spanish international duty. Adam Forshaw had played a fair bit, of course, before. He's got a hip problem. Quite a few experienced and quite a few new signings out there, aren't there, which is going to hurt you if you're a club, no matter what money you've got and no matter what your squad is coming up.
100%, it will hurt anyone when you've got them sort of injuries, but that's where you give young players a chance, and they've got to prove that they can do it.
Some of them are, some of them aren't, I think would be a fair assessment of what we're seeing at the moment.
Well, this is what I said about Leeds. Sometimes teams will work you out, you can work hard, but this is the Premier League. Every club now will work hard, their players will run, and that's what Crystal Palace are doing. They're matching Leeds' work rate.
Decent cross.
That's something you have to do. You have to do in the Premier League now.
Absolutely. Decent cross at least there from Dallas, which was blocked by MacArthur. We had that surging run forward before losing out. Back to some more defensive duties there for the former Hamilton man. Of course, at Wigan as well, when there was the MacArthur and McCarthy combination that has been reinvigorated here at Palace. James McCarthy, as you mentioned, back as far as the bench after an injury on Irish international duty. He's looking for their second as Struick pokes it through, looking for Matthias Klick. The pole just couldn't quite get there, and again
Zaha's been poor, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just given it away again, the rebound, hasn't he?
So sometimes he feels like he's the only person on the pitch that he can't be tackled, and he takes too much time. It's been a disappointing display from Zaha.
Oh, a lovely through ball this time for the new man Rafinha to Dallas, deflected cross off Scott Dan. Half-hearted appeal for handball, another appeal for another handball, but I think this time the referee's assistance flag is up. Klick going and trying his best there after good work from Rafinha, but it's just not quite happening for Leeds at the moment. Yeah, in fact it was Dallas, wasn't it, who just ghosted into an offside position as he came back to try and block Koyate's clearance, and we stay at 3-1 with exactly an hour gone. I tell you what, Gabby, you look at the Palace bench in contrast: Butland, Mamadou Sakho, Jeffrey Schlupp, Benteke, McCarthy, Batshuayi and Gary Cahill. That is a very impressive bench.
Yeah, and it's when they get their injuries back, that's what they've got. Palace, they've got a good 16, 17 players, haven't they? When they get a few injuries, they get a bench that's not up to standard, but he's happy to have his better players back, I'm sure. Roy Hodgson.
That's still, by the way, without Tariq Mitchell, who's back imminently, James Tompkins, who's had a setback in his recovery, Joel Ward, who often plays, and then Wayne Hennessy and Connor Wickham. So 5 more first-team squad members who are still out, and Hodgson is nicely amassing a pretty solid squad here. Even the likes of Martin Kelly and so on who are fit and the normal stalwart squad members can't get in. So that is a big tick actually for what Hodgson's trying to do.
Yeah, I like the way this game, he hasn't gone with a Batshuayi or Benteke. He's gone with AU, more agile, and he knew it was going to be this sort of game. I mean, the Leeds centre-halves, they want to play against Benteke or Batshuayi, against players that are going to run around them with energy. They're not going to enjoy playing.
Wilfried Zaha bring a bit more to the table, I wonder. It's Leeds at least back on the attack as Rafinha goes up against Patrick Van Aanholt. Van Aanholt, who set up the third with his deflected cross that went in off Costa, does well, just stands his ground. Vicente Gaeta is more than happy to slowly get the ball and prepare to take another long goal kick in just a second. Marcelo Bielsa is finally off his bench, pushing his glasses back into pace and just marching up and down purposefully. I wonder what's going through the Argentinian's mind now.
I think he's probably thinking, what change can I make?
What can I do?
Yeah, what more changes can I make?
The answer is limited as Gaeta smacks it downfield. It's won by Liam Cooper. Free kick goes Palace's way this time. Click isn't happy, and we are, I think, about to see Tyler Roberts wearing 11. Welsh international. He's pacey, he's strong. As you've touched on, he's a bit inconsistent and raw, but maybe this is just the right period for him to do something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I still feel like it seems like when they need a goal now, they're bringing on Roberts. Maybe it's time to give him a start, you know?
Yeah, a bit like Eze, funnily enough.
Give him some time, some minutes in the league.
Ropey passage of players. Palace give it away, then Leeds give it away straight back. Here is Wilfried Zaha. Surely that was a foul this time. Yes, it was. He is brought down edge of the penalty area, right on the left edge, and this is a very good platform for Palace to maybe get a fourth.
Yeah, and this is what you want to see from Zaha. Show his strength and pace to get the ball first, then to do his little bits of skill like he did there, and it's great play.
Shout out to Photoshops, listening for the first time in Cork in Ireland. Loving the commentary. Keep up the good work, lads. Well, great to have Photos Cork with us for the first time, and of course we now do broadcast to the Republic of Ireland, which is brilliant news. Used to do it back in the day as well for a different outlet, so no, lovely to be back on the Emerald Isle, and yeah, wherever you're listening from around the world, at TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in. Free kick to Crystal Palace. Eze scored a perler already. Will it be his right foot or the left of Townsend? It's Eze flashing it in, looking for MacArthur, ricochets off the Scot. Dan was up there as well. That combination's worked in the game already. But Palace just couldn't quite, Gabby, direct it goalward there as Leeds counter-attack. We'll get your assessment on that chance in a minute. Matty's Click, delightful ball over the top. Dallas and Alioski. Alioski shoots, just wide of goal. May have taken a little nick as well as it flew behind. Defence into attack, all happening at both ends.
Yeah, and this is dangerous from Crystal Palace, because if Leeds get the next goal, they've got everything in them to go and equalise or win this game. So Roy Hodgson maybe might look at a few changes because the counter-attack is on for Leeds.
Dave in Michigan, USA. I've been following Palace for 20 years and I can't believe I've heard you use the word Palace are scoring goals for fun. I never thought it would happen. I can't recall it ever happening before. Well, Dave, it's good that your team, who you followed for so long, are free scoring and free flowing at the moment, but they're on the back foot here as Ayling finds Click, ball over the top, headed down, shot from distance from Harrison. It's on target through a sea of bodies. Unfortunately, from Palace's point of view, it was straight at their keeper Gaeta, well struck, yard either side, could have been a goal.
Yeah, it's good play again, isn't it, from Leeds United, finding a way to get crosses in, and another day this is a goal here, and all they can keep doing, keep trying to push for a goal now. And you know what, there's 25 minutes left. There's no reason why Leeds can't get an equaliser out of this game. They've got the energy, they've got the fitness levels, and Crystal Palace aren't looking at threatening in the attack.
David Broom from Wellington in New Zealand, listening at 5 a.m. I guess that's tomorrow now, effectively, isn't it? Saying, raining goals. My final prediction is 5-2 with Zaha to score. Hashtag South London and proud of it. So David Broomer, exiled Eagle on the other side of the world. At TalkSport Live, good to hear from you, my friend, as well. Palace looking for at least a fourth to try and make David's prediction come through. Are you? As far as Zaha, the man he predicted. Zaha, for once, had a sight of goal, but Gabby couldn't get a meaningful shot away with his right foot.
No, but it's good play, isn't it? It's good play from AU driving, and it was a great tackle once again from Alioski, but Zaha, if he takes the quickest shot off, gets a goal there. He's not doing you no favours, is he, for your fantasy football?
No, he isn't. I fancied him to do more there, and he did not. 8 Mile listening to us as well from Lagos in Nigeria, desperate for Zaha to score. He says, Meslier breaks my heart every time he makes a save. Well, he's made a couple. He's had a couple of slightly iffy moments as well as Leeds look for another. And wonderful run from Alioski, and the cross was either side of 2 players, one of whom was Bamford, just behind him, just in front of another on-rushing jersey. And Leeds, if only Alioski could have picked out another shirt. It was effectively 2-on-1 as it was. It went frustratingly in between the pair from the Whites' point of view. Still they come forward though from Jack Harrison. It takes a combination of 3 Palace players on him to win it back. The man who won it back was Riedeveld, but his ball clear was poor. It was cut out by Ayling. His ball then from halfway is poor and cut out by Townsend. He then gives it away, and Leeds, after 3 horrific passes in a row from both teams, are back on the attack. Just for a second I thought maybe Alioski could pick out another white jersey. Here come Leeds again though. This is much more like it. Edge of the box, Dallas to Bamford. Bamford's offload is poor. His touch there was disappointing, and his build-up play on this occasion lets Leeds down. Harrison slips but keeps it in play under pressure from Ayew. Alioski also slips on the far side. He and Harrison do keep the ball in play, but eventually Palace, through sheer weight of numbers, win it back. Zaha on the far side is onside, run from halfway, right edge of the box as he cuts around Robin Koch. Ball infield from Zaha, no greedy play there, opted to find Andros Townsend to Eberici Eze. He's on the left edge of the penalty area, but the thrust of the counter-attack is kind of gone, Gabby.
Yeah, they've still got a chance though. They've got good bodies forward, but they probably could have done better in that counter-attack.
Eze back in field to Townsend again, still huffing and puffing. Now Eze's got more space to put in the cross. All decent delivery with his weaker left foot. Eberici Eze, it's off Ayling, and it's behind for another corner. Eventually they managed to get the cross in, which is something. They've got another corner.
Yeah, I look at this Leeds line, they look a bit, I don't know, exhausted, don't they? They're not getting back as quick, they're not pressing the ball as quick, and maybe it's something that's going to happen this season with the way that Bielsa wants them to press. They're going to suffer burnout, and maybe they're already suffering it already.
Well, Gabby, this has been said about Bielsa teams in other leagues and other national teams in the past. He's not actually won that much silverware as a boss despite his pedigree and his innovation, maybe often because his teams are puffing and exhausted 2/3 of the way through a season. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, definitely.
Corner swung in from Eze. Leeds a little unsure. Eventually they get it clear. Ayew couldn't quite get there, but then Leeds' clearance falls straight back to Palace. Zaha on the edge of the box. His control once again was poor. Now Leeds counter-attack again. Matthias Klick plays a 1-2. Ricochets back to Harrison fortuitously, but he can't control it. Jacob Kayate wins it back, and now Palace counter-attack again through Zaha, who's got space just beneath our vantage point. Nice through ball. Great chance for Ayew. Must score. Oh, and he does score. Meslier got a glove on it. Jordan Ayew gets his first of the season. He's back from COVID-19, and what a return. It's been a tough run for the Ghanaian, but he's delighted to lap up the adulation of his teammates, and surely Palace put this game to bed. It's Palace 4, Leeds 1.
I really want to see the replay again. I mean, when Zaha gets the ball, he runs with it. There's so many of these defenders in the box, but somehow Ayew finds himself unmarked. I mean, we can see the replay here. Yeah, he's miles onside, no one anywhere near him, and it's a great finish from Ayew, great ball from Zaha, but it's more awful defending from Leeds United.
As much as you bemoan Zaha and my pick in my fantasy team, Hargo's Harriers, which is what they're called, being a Kidderminster fan as I am, they get the assist, of course. Thank you very much. It's actually inspired fantasy management from me. Good ball from Zaha, and for once, everyone stood off him as well, didn't they? And just invited him to make that run and do something meaningful.
Yeah, well, and like I said, no one's picking up Ayew. I mean, how can you leave someone like Ayew on his own in the box when you've still got so many numbers back? And it's been the problem, hasn't it, this season for Leeds, and it's looking like it's going to continue. Really poor defending.
So all 3 Palace scorers who actually scored themselves, the fourth being an own goal from Costa, are all first goals of the season. Scotty down early on, Eze with that sumptuous free kick, and now Jordan Ayew as well. 71 on the clock, Palace 4, Leeds 1, and at this point Roy Hodgson decides to take Andros Townsend off with further battles and big games to come, and on comes Jeffrey Schlupp, the Ghanaian. That's 2 Ghanaians on the field now with Ayew as well, the goal scorer. Schlupp, one of the players who lost their place after the Wolves defeat. Of course, a title winner in the squad with Leicester back in the day before he moved to Crystal Palace. Van Aanholt, little through ball. And they've got to be careful here playing football on the edge of their own 6-yard box, Crystal Palace. Yes, they're 4-1 up, but you can't take too many liberties and be too lackadaisical. They give it away. First meaningful touch for the Leeds sub from a few moments ago, Tyler Roberts, the young Welshman. Inside to Dallas, now to Ayling. Palace trying to atone for giving it away sloppily. 4 players surround Dallas. The cross takes a deflection, fizzes up into the air, and guess who? Scott Dan is there again to calmly shepherd it back to Gaeta. I don't think Hodgson will like how Palace gave that one away, though.
No, it's sloppy play, isn't it? And the game's not won yet. Leeds will not give up. You can't start playing lacklustre passes at the back, and Roy Hodgson will be very angry the way they're playing the last couple of minutes.
By the way, Roberts was on for Pascal Struijk, the Dutchman who acquitted himself as best as he could, and for a 21-year-old I thought actually did okay, but new blood, more firepower, the only option he really had. That was what Marcelo Bielsa took as his decision a couple of minutes ago before that last substitution for Palace. As we look on the big screen at Andros Townsend having been taken off, looking beady-eyed, shall we say, across at the rest of play. What's he thinking? Would he have liked to have seen the rest of that one out, given the fact that there is an international break? It's not like they've got a game next week.
Yeah, you want to see it out, but he's been okay today, hasn't he, Townsend? But he's not been one of the better attacker players, so I would have no moans about bringing him off. And Jeffrey Schlupp has been outstanding when he's played this season, so he deserves to even have been starting.
Great opportunity for Leeds to get another, and Bamford should have done far, far better. Click ghosting to the left side this time with his right foot the pole. That was the combination that led to the goal for Leeds earlier, and the disallowed one. Good delivery. Bamford between the two defenders. Oh, he's got to hit the target from there, surely. Hits his shoulder. I love the way he then appeals for a corner. So what you'd have done if you'd shouldered it?
Yeah, he knows he had a bad connection with the header, and he knows. But he's been the bright spark, hasn't he, for Leeds this season and today. And I just feel sorry for him with that goal disallowed and the way this team's defended.
Yeah, plaintively looking around, hoping that maybe he did get a corner, but as we both rightly said there, off his shoulder and behind. Palace 4, Leeds 1, and with the goal difference change, Palace could even maybe nick up to 5th in the table as things stand. But watch that closely, they will be 5th or 6th for a few hours at least if they get the win, as they surely must at this stage. Wilfried Zaha brought down another free kick, another good position.
Yeah, it's a great position, isn't it? Again, I think maybe someone else will take this one to a bit further out, but Leeds for me are all over the place. Their tactics and that everyone was going crazy about, and I mentioned about it, but sometimes you've got to look at it and you've got to be like critical of Bielsa's tactics, especially today, because they look open, they look defensively poor, and they've conceded 4 goals to quite average Crystal Palace side.
Well, you won the half-time coffee by saying it would be Eze to take the free kick, and I said Van Aanholt. Do you want another one for full-time? Because it's the same 2 players. Should we stick with our same 2 choices?
Yeah, I'll have Eze.
All right, I'm going to say Van Aanholt again.
Yeah,
the right, the right foot of Eberici Eze, who scored a perler already, or the left of Van Aanholt. It's a short taken free kick by Eze to Van Aanholt. I'm not quite sure where that leaves our bet, but anyway, for me, they got that horribly wrong and overcomplicated it, and one of them should have just leathered it.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, isn't it? When you 4-1 up, it's what you do. You sometimes overcomplicate things, and that's what they did there.
And in the end, the ball trickled out harmlessly and rather apologetically for a goal kick. Shani Mark signs himself as a long-time listener from Cork in Ireland, saying Gabby is a legend. There you go. I wonder if Shani Mark is a Villa fan.
Oh, that's very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Good work at Shani Mark. So at TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in for the final few minutes of this one. We'll read out a few more as we tick toward full time. Leeds desperately trying to get something out of this game. It's so unlikely now, but Jack Harrison, who's been one of their better and more involved players, does well on the far side up against Jairo Riedeveld, and at least wins a free kick. It's about midway inside Palace territory, but again, it's a long way out to really make too much happen, isn't it, for me, Gabby?
Yeah, it's a bit too much too late now, isn't it, for them? You can't see them getting back into this game, and they've been really poor this game, and I'm sure with Scott Dan at the back, Crystal Palace will clear this and probably end up on the other side of the pitch in a counter-attack.
Free kick, which Harrison dummies, and Click bends in.
Just as I says, here we go.
Here we go, here is Zaha. Oh, he's brought down by Matthias Click, and that was very, very cynical, right in front of the ref on halfway. Yellow card at least, which is what he gets. Could have been even more.
Yeah, it's like I said, they'd clear the ball and they'd hit him on a counter attack, and it's been the story of Leeds when they've come up against opposition who are organised and playing a counter attack, and it doesn't seem like Bielsa's learning his lesson really.
It looks awful on the slow motion there. I know it always looks worse, but he just comes and hacks him down when he realises he's been outpaced and isn't going to get there. And to go back to your point, Plick looks absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, they look exhausted. Sometimes you can work too hard. These players are human beings. Yes, you want players to press, work hard every game, but sometimes, you know, you'll have his effect on you. You can't do it week in, week out, and Leeds players look knackered out there.
Yep, they exactly do. Click with the beads of sweat dribbling off his face there as the free kick was conceded. Palace this time happy to just play it effectively all the way back to their goalkeeper via the new man who's just come on, which is James McCarthy, Ireland international, very talented player. Fortunately, injuries really blighted his time toward the end at Everton. Then coming through via the likes of Hamilton and Wigan. Good player, James McCarthy. And I'm glad to see him back because he's done pretty well at Palace when he's been fit. But again, those niggles are just stopping him getting a long run, aren't they?
Yeah, you see what he can do in his career. He's a good player, but he needs games, stay away from injuries and get back into the team, and that's something that hopefully Roy Hodgson can do for him.
Yep, last injury was on the international break. Hopefully if he goes away with Ireland it won't happen again. So we do have McCarthy and MacArthur reunited both on the field together. Every commentator loves it.
Commentators curse.
At least it's only for the final 13 minutes. Right, here is Luke Ayling for Leeds. Are they going to get at least one back, I wonder? Millwall on tour. That's Ian in Delaware, USA, is a Millwall fan, so not happy that Palace, kind of rivals, South East London-ish, are winning this one. Sorry, Ian, but yeah, the neighbours down the road look like they're going to get another 3 points in this one, my friend. Leeds, though, trying to get at least one back and keep the goal difference decent, if nothing else. But that is poor, as Alioski played it back, massively overhit, and straight out of play for another fairly ugly conceded goal kick. And that was Cooper, I think, wasn't it, the skipper up there, and that was a poor ball, and Bielsa is far from happy. We're starting to see that facade break now, the coolness, the calmness with the coffee. Now he's properly losing it.
Yeah, and this is the real test that people want to see, that it's all good when you can turn up against Liverpool and Manchester City, but can you turn up against the teams in the lower part of the table? This is the test for this Leeds team, and it's showing that they can't.
Valoni is listening in Nigeria, saying, I'm so happy that our country boy in Eze with his Nigerian heritage is shining today. You guys are doing a great job. I'm absolutely loving his performance. And Musabi is saying, Palace has surprised me so much. I had no idea that they could play like this. That's from Accra. So thank you very much indeed for your tweet. Leeds again still trying to get one back. They are having a decent amount of the ball, but Palace also at 4-1 up, doing a decent job of maintaining their lead without overcommitting. Leeds forced to try and overplay it since the passage of play from right to left, and Palace temporarily got it back through Eze before Harrison won it back for Leeds. Click. First ball is blocked by Klein. It falls back to him. And here's Matty's Click again. Head up. Ayling dummies as far as Dallas, just to the edge of the D. Through ball from Luke Ayling, looking for the ongoing run off Stuart Dallas, but again it was easily cut out. Palace's clearance, though, not massively successful. Leeds have got it back again through Ayling to Dallas. Ayling continues his run, wearing 2. In field to the new man, Tyler Roberts. Roberts loses out, but then hungry for the ball, wins it back off the man who blocked it, fellow sub Jeffrey Schlupp, and then Schlupp with an excellent tackle. The former Leicester man wins it back beautifully. Now Palace can counter-attack. Leeds had committed plenty of bodies forward. Ayew in field to Zaha. Zaha didn't exactly make much of an effort to get to it, but I think Ayew just telegraphed that too much. And has Cooper hurt himself as he dived to make the interception?
Yeah, I think he might have dived there. I mean, you want to see the end of this game, the way they've been battered.
80 minutes gone, 10 to go. Palace 4, Leeds 1. Deep cross from the far side is just horrendously overstruck from Leeds, and if anything smacked of tiredness and desperation, I'm afraid, Gabby. That ball from the otherwise impressive Harrison kind of summed it up.
Yeah, and this is what I said, you know, like I've had talking cheek comments about Leeds, but this is what's going to happen this season. They've got it in them to lose this game and then go and play Manchester United next week and beat them. You know that this is the Leeds United you're going to see this season. They're not going to be winning every week, but they will make some shocks and have some bad defeats, and it's a team out there look tired, they look knackered, a team that look like they've been running 3, 4, 5k a day during training, and it's showing, isn't it?
And that has happened, as we mentioned to Bielsa previously in his career, where he leaves clubs when the results start to fade and the stringent, hard training ground regime takes its toll, but without the results, and the momentum goes. 4-1, and remember they lost 4-1 to Leicester last time out as well. Could this be 5-1 as Van Aanholt just ghosts his way through? Leeds tackles were non-existent. Ayling, desperate not to commit, ran round him, shot in the end from Van Aanholt, was saved by Meslier, and the young Frenchman with a good block, otherwise that would have been 5 all day long.
The defenders give up then, didn't they? They didn't even try and tackle.
Couldn't believe it was like a training ground, wasn't it?
Let him go. Like,
awful.
Just looks like a team that's met their match in work rate, and I said this, if you can work as hard as Leeds, you've got every chance against them, and that's what teams would have been told. Teams would look at, the scouts would be telling the teams, managers to just work as hard as them, and your quality will be better than theirs and get a result. And Crystal Palace have better players than Leeds United in the attacking areas.
It was terrifying how much Leeds stood off there as Van Aanholt just waltzed his way through. As it was, Meslier, the youngster, made a decent block, and as Kobler Etsu Awemu says, welcome to the Premier League again, Leeds United. And yeah, I agree, this has been a little bit chastening for large parts. How will they respond, I wonder? Rafinha cutting inside onto his left foot. Harrison is at the far post up against Nat Klein, who stands his ground well. Klein, as we mentioned, just quietly getting on with his business as he builds up his full match fitness after his period without a club. And another foul committed, this time James MacArthur brings down Matthias Klick. Klick himself, of course, had hacked down Zaha himself. This time he's on the receiving end, Gabby.
Yeah, it's a foul, isn't it? But there's been a lot of these fouls this game so far, and I think the referee's done well as well. He's let a lot of the fouls go, not booked too many players, and yeah, it's been one of them games, feisty, but the better team at the moment ahead.
Francis calling for more Zaha goals to help his fantasy team. You never know, we've still got time potentially for at least one more. At TalkSport Live as Leeds line up the free kick. Rafinha, I think, fancies this one, the half-time sub who replaced Helder Costa. Harrison also wanted it, but he has now ambled his way forward. Takes up his place just to the left of the Palace wall. It's a long way out, it's a good 30 yards, but Rafinha, I think, has got eyes for goal. There's a 5-man Palace wall, now 4 as MacArthur trots away from it. Keita lining up his men, shot from distance, so close from Rafinha, brilliant free kick, trademark Brazilian stuff, just, and I mean just wide of Keita's left-hand post. He was sprawling.
Yeah, it's a great free kick, and we look at inches away for going into the top corner.
That looks like it's in, doesn't it?
But the goalkeeper would say, oh, yeah, he's covered.
Nah, that would have been another one off the bar and in, wouldn't it? It's been the story of the day for me. Here on your big screen, and on the tannoy, Christian Benteke is coming up. Of course, big money signing. Was it your boys, wasn't he? Villa for a while. Just never really quite happened.
Yeah, he's not done anywhere near the form that he had at Aston Villa. You know, he struggled ever since he left. He's not been the same player. It's a shame to see, really.
Well, Liverpool never quite happened, did it, as you say, to what was necessarily expected. And then at Palace, big money signing, 30 odd million quid if memory serves. Everybody thought that this would be perhaps where he reinvented himself and got the momentum back. Did trigger at least a new 1-year contract. Whether that was cash related as much as anything, nobody ever really truly knew, but he's here for one more season, Christian Benteke, and yes, his stock has dropped, the Belgian hitman, from the days at Villa Park and before. Also scored a fair few goals for Belgium as well, we shouldn't forget. So, I mean, he is no mug.
No, of course not. He still gets in the Belgium squad as well. He's no mug, but with Benteke, a team has to play exactly to his strengths. They can't play a different way. They've got to play to what Benteke needs, which is crosses in the box.
Yeah, not necessarily when you've got some of these mobile, fluid players who like to cross and change position and play on the floor and counter-attack swiftly. Doesn't necessarily play to a big target man's strengths. Good point there from Gabby. Oko Ikena, by the way, saying Bielsa getting a proper treat of top-tier football now. Were there earlier wins in the campaign, just flashes in the pan? Will Leeds pick up enough points to stay up? That's Stanley from Port Harcourt in Nigeria. Good question, Stanley. I think Gabby and I probably both feel they will be okay in terms of staying up, Leeds, but just a few warning signs ahead of a long, hard season to come. And I tell you what, the international break, a week off for this tired team, that's going to come, isn't it, at a very good time.
Well, we don't actually know what he's like. Knowing what I'm hearing about Bielsa, he'll have them running around Leeds town centre during an international break. I don't think the sort of manager that will give them time off. He looks like he'll be the one that, you know what, we need to get fitter, we need to work hard on what we didn't do right. I can't see him the sort of manager that's going to give these Leeds players time to rest at all.
Funnily enough, and I'm not being flippant here, but with lockdown, of course, they won't be doing it in Leeds town centre. They've got to, of course, go out in small groups and keep their social distance. But whatever they do, you're right, they need to keep up momentum and fitness. But you also, surely, if you are showing these signs of tiredness, you do need to rest and recuperate if you're not going away, I would have thought. I don't know.
Yeah, you need that rest. You need it. Do you know what I mean? They're not robots. They're human beings. They need rest.
Another counter-attack, which just makes our point. Again, fizzles out. Harrison brought it forward well, but then Alioski's ball inside looked tired, looked listless, lacked direction. Palace counter-attack. Eze, Click's brought him down, and Mattis Click's got to be really careful because he's on a yellow card, and that was another tired, petulant tackle that brought Eze down. It wasn't too forceful, and I think he's going to get away with it, but Mattis Click has got to be really careful for me now.
Yeah, this is what you don't want, him getting the red card. He's close to getting one, so he's got to be very careful.
He's clattered into Eze and brought him down, and it's a free kick, and Palace are happy to just run the clock down a bit more. Eze takes